Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Good morning, Manpreet, Yasin, Nandini, Kashinath, Surya, Divyani. Good morning, all of you. Am I audible and visible? Anjali, Roshan. Okay, great. Sham. Yes, yesterday was a holiday, Sham. Yesterday, because of Holi, holiday was declared. Anupalli, good morning. Praveen, Kavi, Zeba, Maruti. So, good morning, all of you. So last class, that is on Friday, I had completed ancient Indian architecture, isn't it? We discussed everything, Nagara style. We have discussed stupas, chaityas, viharas, pillars of Ashoka, then the temple styles, Kandara, Mathura, Amaravati schools of art, then temple styles like Nagara, the regional variations to Nagara in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, then Dravida style, starting with the Pallavas, and then the Cholas, and then, of course, Vijayanagara and other South Indian dynasties, including Vesara style of the Chalukyas of Badami, the Rashtrakutas, which was mostly of rock cut temples they built. Then, of course, Hoysalas, Kalyana Chalukyas. Also, we have looked at all these things. And then we came to Indo-Islamic architecture. We came to Indo-Islamic architecture. Um, so, with the coming of the Turks, we have new forms of architecture introduced in North India and in other parts of the country. I gave you three phases. So, I told you that initially there was a mixture of Hindu and Islamic elements. The Muslims, the Turks, Muslims introduced new architectural features like the arch and the dome, which was combined with the slab and the beam method. Slab and the beam method was known in India to the Indians. It was pretty popular. Arch as a design was known to the Indians, but it had been forgotten. So what the Turks did is they introduced arch and the dome, and they combined it very pleasingly with the slab and the beam method. They introduced minarets as they were ready for experimentation. They used scientific formulae in their buildings. The jali or perforated windows was used for light and air. Then, of course, calligraphy, Islamic calligraphy was used. So all these were used by the Muslims, Muslim architects. Now, uh, so here I told you Indo-Islamic architecture is divided into three phases. We looked at the three phases. If you remember, what are the three phases? So here we have 11th century to the 14th century, isn't it? 11th century to the 14th century. Yeah, that was the first phase. First phase, phase one, phase one, 1100 to 1400. So here we have the buildings of early Turks and Afghan sultans. Buildings of early Turkish and Afghan sultans. Then phase two, we have it starts um, from 1316 and goes on till 1526. This is called the provincial phase. Provincial phase. So 1316, Alauddin Khalji died, isn't it? So Alauddin Khalji died in 1316. Because of that reason, central authority became weak. The central government became weak. Central government became weak after that. Became weak, and we have um, provinces becoming independent. So provinces became independent, and they were ruled by various Muslim rulers. So these are known as the provincial sultanates. So that's why it's called provincial phase. For example, we have Gujarat, Bengal, Gujarat, Jaunpur, then Bengal, Gujarat, Jaunpur, Malwa, Deccan, Kashmir. In all these places, we have Muslim rule, and this period is called provincial phase, right? And in all these places, Bengal, Gujarat, Jaunpur, etc., we have a number of Islamic buildings which were constructed. Number of buildings were constructed in the local styles, in the local provincial styles, hence called provincial phase. And then we come to the third phase, phase three, Mughal period. Mughal period, right? I stopped here. Am I right? I stopped here last class. Hello, all of you. Hello. Yeah, Stephen. Thank you, Manpreet. Yeah. Now, just take down one more point. Just take down one more point. Um, Next paragraph. Next paragraph. The architecture of the Muslims can be divided into. Next paragraph. The architecture of the Muslims or Muslim architecture. Architecture of the Muslims can be divided into two types. Architecture of Muslims can be divided into number one, religious, and number two, secular. Architecture of the Muslims can be divided into number one, religious, and number two, secular. Under religious, what are the examples we have? Mosques, that is masjid, and tombs, maqbara. Mosques, that is masjid, and tombs, maqbara. Then secular, under secular we have palaces, fortresses, city gates, then gardens and houses. So these are the architecture of Muslims can be divided into religious and secular. Mosques, that is masjid, and tombs, maqbara. And secular, palaces, fortresses, city gates, gardens, and houses. Fortress, fort, Yasin, fort. Fortresses, fort. Many forts are called fortresses. Now, now, what's the difference between masjid? What is the difference between masjid and dargah? Hello, what's the difference between a masjid and a dargah? Yasin, you don't answer. Yasin, you don't answer. You would know. What's the difference between a masjid and dargah? Roshan says dargah is a tomb. Okay. Any tomb is a dargah? Any tomb is a dargah, Roshan? Can you be specific? Nazma, masjid is a praying place. Okay. Very good, Deepesh. Masjid is a place for worship and dargah is a tomb of a great Sufi saint. Very good. Dargah is a place of a Sufi saint, where the Sufi saint has been buried. So it is a tomb of a Sufi saint, dargah. Whereas masjid is a temple where it is a Muslim temple is called a masjid, where the Muslims go and offer their namaz. Right? Very good. Now, as you all know, traditional Muslims, strict Muslims, they don't go to a dargah. Many of the Muslims don't go to a dargah because they feel we don't require a via media. Directly we can have communion with Allah, with God, Allah, and whatever we want, God is going to give us. We don't need to go through a saint. So many of the Muslims don't go and offer their prayers in a dargah. But then dargah is open to everybody. Even Hindus go, and people from other communities also go and offer their respects to the saint there. And he is considered to be a living entity. living entity who's since he's very near to God, he will be able to convey the prayers, the mannat or whatever request the person is making to God. So that way, the God will be able to quickly fulfill the devotee's wish. So that is the belief. You have the great Nizamuddin Allah Dargah at Delhi. We have the Khwaja Noizuddin Chisti Dargah at Ajmer. So these are some of the popular dargahs in India, right? I can't hear you, Divyani. You can't hear me. What about others? Divyani says she cannot hear me. Others can hear me. Divyani, others are having no problem. Refresh, refresh. Sham says refresh, refresh. Divyani. Dikshit says no problem. So others are not having any problem, Divyani. Okay, so we'll come back here. Ask her to unmute herself. Nazma says, ask her to unmute herself, Divyani. But then she can't hear me. How will she unmute? Nazma, yeah. Divyani, I hope your problem is solved. Refresh. Okay, we'll come back here. So so here you can see here we have all these features introduced by the Muslims: arches, minarets. What are minarets? Four minars. No, minarets are the four minars in the four corners, and towers. Scientific formulae: mortar has a cementing agent, so that is superior binding medium, like a cement. No, then artistic calligraphy. Artistic calligraphy is verses from the Quran, Holy Quran were taken. The Quran is written in Arabic language, so some verses or lines were taken from the Holy Quran, and it was embellished or decorated on the walls of the monument. So that itself creates a beautiful design. Jali work are perforated windows where you have holes so that you have free passage of air and light. That is jali work, right? So the Muslims reintroduced the arch. Arch was known to the Indians in ancient time, but then it was reintroduced by the Turks. Then of course you have the dome. The dome was introduced. Then in India we have the slab and the beam method. This is called trabeate system, and this is called arcuate system. Arcuate, and this is called trabeate. So these were beautifully combined by the Turks, by the Muslim architects, and of course, once they came to India, they were influenced by stone. Hindus used to use stone in their architecture, so the Muslims also began to use stone. Whereas earlier in West Asia, they used to use bricks, rubble, etc., not stone. But in India, they began to use stone. So let us examine this topic. First of all, if you look at the mosque on your screen, there's a picture of a mosque. So let us look at the various parts of a mosque, the elements of a mosque. A mosque is a prayer where Muslims go and pray. It's a prayer. It's something like a temple, Muslim temple. In other words, it's called a mosque. So, so here there are different parts of a mosque. You can see on your screen. You have a mimbar or a pulpit. This is the mimbar or the pulpit, where the Maulvi, the head of a mosque, is called a Maulvi. The head of a mosque is the head of a mosque, Maulvi. And he is the one who climbs the pulpit. He climbs onto the pulpit and then he calls the faithful to prayer. Nowadays, you have mic system, mics are there. So he doesn't need to climb. He can use the mic and then call the people to prayer. So I believe during the time of Prophet Muhammad, the Maulvi would climb the topmost sand dune. And then he'll stand on the sand dune and he'll call the faithful to prayer so that maximum number of people can be heard, can hear he calling them for prayers. So mimbar is the pulpit. Mihrab is the prayer niche. You can see here, this is the mihrab, prayer niche. So Muslims face west and they pray. Because why they face west and pray? So it's the same. Akshata, what is your question? Can you be specific, please? Akshata. Makkah direction. Very good, Zeba. Makkah to the west. They facing the Kaaba. Yeah, Kaaba. The holy Kaaba is in Makkah, so it is west. So they face west and pray. So you have to be specific, Akshata. What is your question? We'll come back here. So mihrab is the prayer niche. Then Livan is the prayer hall. Livan is the prayer hall. Now, how can it be not in Akshata is the same person's? See, I'm talking about Dargah. In the Dargah, we have a Sufi saint who has been buried there, and he is worshipped. The tomb of a Sufi saint is called Dargah. So you have so many dargahs, and you have that particular Sufi saint has been buried. How can it be the same Sufi saint buried in all the places? No, no, right? It is not like the Buddhist stupa. Like Buddha's ashes were divided to eight parts, and in eight places, eight stupas were constructed. So if you're thinking it like that, it is not so. Each dargah has the remains, the dead body of a different Sufi saint, but he is considered to be a living entity. That saint is considered to be a living entity. For example, even among Hindus, it is there. Akshata, if you do not know, for example, we have Shirdi Sai Baba Mandir, in Shirdi, Maharashtra. So in the temple, we have the body of the saint called Shirdi Sai Baba, who was buried there, who is buried there, and it is also a temple, come the tomb of Sai Baba, right? Like that. Did you understand, Akshata? So we'll come back here. So Livan is a prayer hall. That's a prayer hall. How is a tank? How is a tank? So here, every masjid, as far as my knowledge goes, might not have a tank. Nowadays, they have taps. They have taps, and it is compulsory for a Muslim to clean himself, wash himself up. They're supposed to wash their face, mouth, rinse their mouth, their ears, behind their arms, no neck, all behind the neck, etc. Legs also, and then they're supposed to pray. They cannot enter without washing themselves. Scene is a courtyard, and of course, rivak are arcade and cloisters. So yeah, also Raghavendra Swami of Mantralaya. That is true. Surya, you're also right. Raghavendra Swami of Mantralaya, pretty popular saint in Andhra and Karnataka. So like that. Now we'll come back here. Right? This is a mosque, the different parts of a mosque. Then tomb. Now, I could not get any picture of a tomb. Frankly speaking, I could not get a picture of a tomb on the net. I had a book with me which contained the picture of a tomb. Now, when I say a tomb, it is a tomb of a king or a queen who has been buried. It is not the ordinary Muslim who has been buried. An ordinary tomb where an ordinary Muslim has been buried will look like any tomb, whether it's a Christian tomb or a Hindu tomb. Whereas a king, a Muslim king or a Muslim queen who has been buried, the tomb will be looking different. So I'll find that book, and then I'll draw the diagram in another class. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that. So just hold on. The cross section of a tomb, I'll show that tomorrow. Okay. The arcade, they are cloisters, rivak or arcade, or maybe the arc. No, that's called arcade. Arcade is the arch, or cloisters. That is called rivak. So here, let us come to the Delhi Sultanate architecture. What is the meaning of a tomb? Tomb is where a person has been buried, Kiran. Tomb is where a person has been buried. A dargah it contains the tomb of a Sufi saint. It contains the remains of a Sufi saint. The Sufi saint has been buried there, and that saint is considered to be a living entity and is worshipped by Muslims and even by other communities. Yeah, tomb of Sheikh Muhyiddin Chishti of Ajmer. That is true. So they're all considered to be very divine. It's not necessary, Dipesh. Do we need to remember all the parts of a mosque? No. I have shown you the different parts of a temple. So in this picture, I have shown you the different parts of a mosque. Okay, it is just for us to understand what are the different parts of a mosque. Right? This is for our understanding, for your understanding. Right? This UPSC might or might not ask you, but then it is just for our knowledge. Right? Similar, for example, they may not ask you all the parts of a temple. Right? Similarly, they they might or might not ask you all the parts of a mosque. They will not ask you, just for our understanding. So we'll come back here. Now we have the imperial style. We have the five dynasties: Slave, Khaljis, Tughlaqs, Lodhis. So we'll examine each of them. And then, of course, I told you the second phase is when the central authority became weak after the death of Alauddin Khalji. And we have in the provinces a number of sultanates which came into existence: Gujarat, Bengal, etc. So we will take note of that. Generally, UPSC has asked important buildings in those provinces or the type of material used. Mostly they've asked about important buildings. They have not asked about specific architectural styles as such, but we will anyway try to examine them in a detailed manner. So we'll come back here. First of all, slave dynasty, slave dynasty or the Ilbari Turks. So, so what are the important things you need to remember about the Ilbari Turks? So we have four Ilbari Turks, isn't it? Four important kings, of the slave dynasty. First one, slave dynasty. So we have four important kings. That is, Qutbuddin Aibak is one. Then Iltutmish is another. Razia and Balban. Now, what are the important buildings of the time of Aibak? So Aibak built the Quwwatul Islam Mosque. So what is not there in the PPT also I'll be discussing. You see here some things are not there in the PPT. Hello, some things are not there in the PPT. So I'll also be discussing that. I'll be writing on the page so that you can understand and you can also copy down. So first of all, we have the buildings of Qutbuddin Aibak. We have the Quwwatul Islam Mosque in Delhi. So Quwwatul Islam Mosque. Quwwatul Islam. Quwwatul Islam Mosque. So, or the Might of Islam. Might of Islam. Might of Islam. So this is in Delhi. Quwwatul Islam Mosque is in Delhi. This was built by Aibak in 1197. So this is the first building erected by Qutbuddin Aibak, the Quwwatul Islam Mosque. Okay, 1197 it was built. 1197. And 27 Hindu and Jain temples were demolished. To build this one mosque, 27 Hindu and Jain temples were demolished, and out of the rubble collected, bricks and rubble collected, one mosque was set up, one mosque was constructed. This is the Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi. Okay, then we have the second mosque, the Adai Din Ka Jhompra, again built by Aibak during Aibak's period. The Adhai Din Ka Jhompra. Adhai Din Ka Jhompra. This was constructed at Ajmer in 1200 AD. This was 1200 AD. This was constructed then, 1200 AD. So this is a mosque. Suppose Adai Din means supposedly a mosque built in 2.5 days. A mosque built in 2.5 days, again out of the remains of Hindu temples. So it was built out of the spoils or remains of Hindu temples. So I told you initially the Turks came to loot and plunder. They did not come with architects, engineers, masons. So, and since their religion demanded that they pray 5 times in a day, and 1 time in a week, on Friday they go to a mosque. And since mosques were not available in North India, they demolished existing Hindu and Jain temples and ordered the Hindu masons to construct a mosque out of that rubble. So this was also a mosque constructed out of the spoils of Hindu temples. Did you get me? Yeah, Quwwatul Islam Mosque or the Might of Islam. Quwwatul. Okay, wait. Quwwatul Islam. Quwwatul Islam Mosque or Might of Islam. Is it okay? Is it okay, Kavana? Might of Islam, 1197. These are the two mosques built during the time of Qutbuddin Aibak. Then of course we have the Qutub Minar. The foundation was laid by Qutbuddin Aibak. When was the Qutub Minar constructed? The foundation was laid by him, Qutub Minar. So Qutub Minar, the foundation was laid by Aibak. You all know this. This was in 1197. He began the construction in 1197 and it was completed in 1232. It was completed in 1232. The Qutub Minar, it is 73 meters in height. 73 meters in height. Tallest stone tower in India. This so tallest stone tower in India. So it was meant for initially it was meant for the Maulvi to call the faithful to prayer for azan, for the namaz, what is called azan. It was meant for that, but later it was converted into a victory tower. So as you all know, the foundation was laid by Aibak, Qutbuddin Aibak, but he could not see its completion. He died in an accident when he fell down from the horse. And then you have his slave and son-in-law, Iltutmish, who completed the Qutub Minar. So originally it consisted of 4 stories. So it was completed by Iltutmish. Then during the time of Firuz Shah Tughlaq, there was a lightning strike on the fourth story. There was a damage to the fourth story because of lightning. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq got it repaired and added a fifth tower to it. So the first three are of sandstone. The first three are of sandstone. The first three towers. The last two are of marble. The last two are of marble, right? And the first three are having this alternating flute and flanges. The design called flute and flanges. You can see here. This is the flute and flanges. You can see here on your screen. This is called flute and flanges, like a ribbed effect. Like a rib. Let's see this. This is called flute and flanges. So first three are having flute and flanges. Flute and flanges. The last two are made of marble. The last two are made of marble. It is the tallest stone tower in India. No, Sham, it was built in his honor. It was built by he began the construction of the Qutub Minar in his honor. So he was a contemporary of Qutbuddin Aibak, Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. In fact, Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki's grave, a tomb is also there. Dargah is there in Delhi. It is considered to be a holy place. So his Dargah is there in Delhi. Yeah, flute and flange is made of red sandstone. Correct. So the first three stories are made of red sandstone. So it took about 35 years. You can count it. 1197, 1232 minus 1197. How much is it? 35 years? It has taken 35 years. Tras, 35 years to build the Qutub Minar. 35 years to build a Qutub Minar. Okay. Then we have Adai Din Ka Jhompra at Ajmer. You can see the picture here. I put pictures also. Adai Din Ka Jhompra, Ajmer. So this is another mosque built by Iltutmish, the Adai Din Ka Jhompra. Right? Then we have the tomb of Sultan Gari. See on your screen, this is the tomb of Sultan Gari. Now, whose tomb is this? Iltutmish had a son by name Nasruddin Mahmud, and he died. Unfortunately, he died. It broke the heart of his father Iltutmish. So this is the tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud, the son of Iltutmish, tomb of Sultan Ghari in Delhi. Okay, so this is the tomb of Sultan Ghari in Delhi, tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud. Nasiruddin Mahmud, son of Iltutmish. Okay, tomb of Sultan. This is called the tomb of Sultan Ghari. Tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud, son of Iltutmish. Are you there with me, all of you? Then this is Ghiyazuddin Balban's tomb. Balban's tomb you can see here on your screen. This is Balban's tomb, and this tomb has a wassoired arch. What's a wassoir? You can see here on your screen. Wassoir is this. On your screen, this is called a wassoir, I believe. Wassoir arch. So this is the keystone. This is the keystone. You can see keystone, and these are called wassoirs. These are called wassoirs. So Balban, this is a Roman design. This is a Roman design which you see in Ghiyazuddin Balban's tomb. So this is the first example of a Wassoid arch. Okay, hello. This is the first example of a Wassoid arch. Right? Uh, it was built by him. Balban only built it. It was built by Balban himself. Ghiyazuddin Balban himself built his tomb. So they began their construction of the tombs even when they were alive. So when he died, he was buried here. So built by Balban. Built by Balban himself. So this is called romanticizing death, This is called romanticizing death because one day or the other we all have to die. But those days, many of the Delhi sultans, Mughal emperors, they began constructing their tomb even when they were alive, right? So it is like romanticizing death. So the one day or the other, the inevitable is going to happen, and then they will be buried there. A reason for bringing is uh, probably he liked that design, Kavana. There's no reason, but this is a Roman design. So the architect who designed this must have wanted to make it very unique. So this is the first example of a tomb with a mosaic arch. Sham, it is the tomb is where the person is buried, right? It can have a monument over it, or it could be left to the elements. Tomb is place where a person has been buried, right? So it can be a simple, even it might have been covered with mud. It is still a tomb, or it could be a monument with a ceiling or without a ceiling. There may be a structure surmounting the grave. So that is called a tomb. So tomb basically is that it's a monument which has a grave in it. So grave is where the person is buried. Tomb would be the outer covering. Yasham. Okay. So these are the important buildings during the slave dynasty. Then we come to the Khaljis. Khaljis, as you know, they ruled only for 30 years, 1290 to 1320. They ruled only for 30 years. The greatest of the Khaljis was Alauddin Khalji. He founded the city of Siri, the second city of Delhi. So he founded the second city of Delhi is this Siri. It was founded by him. Then uh, their style of architecture is called Seljuk style of architecture. So Khalji style architecture is called Seljuk. Seljuk style of architecture. Seljuk style of architecture. So what are the various buildings belonging to the period of Khaljis? So here Alauddin Khalji planned a tower twice the height of the Qutub Minar. You all know that. He wanted to build a tower twice the height of the Qutub Minar, but then he could not see its completion. Only the first story was built, and the first story itself is 70 feet in height. So this is very near to the Qutub Minar. So incomplete tower near the Qutub Minar. This is one building. Then we have, of course, the Alai Darwaza. This is the entrance to the Qutub complex. So you can see in the background, the Qutub Minar is seen. So this is the entrance to the Qutub complex, and this is called Alai Darwaza. This is called Alai Darwaza, and this Alai Darwaza has horseshoe keel arch for the first time. You can see here. This is called horseshoe keel arch. This is called horseshoe keel arch. So it has got horseshoe keel arch for the first time. The Alai Darwaza. Then we have the Jamaat Khana Masjid, which uses scientific arches and dome. Okay, it used scientific arches and dome. Jamaat Khana Masjid here. This is the Jamaat Khana Masjid at Delhi. Right? So these are all buildings belonging to the period of Alauddin Khalji. Seljuk, their architecture is called Seljuk style. This is what is there in Nitin Singhania's book also, Seljuk style of architecture. So mostly they have used red sandstone is used. Arcate is used. Okay, so red sandstone is used as part of this architecture. They have used arcuate style. Mortar is used. Superior mortar is used. These are all features of Seljuk style, right? So Kaljis. So we have done Kaljis. Clear? Can I go on? So this is the Kaljis. Then we come to the Tughlaqs. The one more building you can see, the Nizamuddin Aulia Dargah complex at Delhi. The Nizamuddin Aulia, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia complex at Delhi. Who built the Nizamuddin Aulia Dargah? Anybody here? All of you? Hello? Who built the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia at Delhi? This is located in Delhi. Anybody? Sham is very much right. Sham, Satyam, Saurav. The answer is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Dipesh. Yeah, Dipesh also is right. Sham is right. Satyam is right. Saurav, Zeba. So it was built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. See, Nizamuddin Aulia, Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulia, if you remember, he was the one who gave a prophecy that the Sultan will not come back alive to Delhi. That is, Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq went on his Bengal campaign, and as he was leaving Delhi, he said, the saint Nizamuddin Aulia said he'll not come back alive to Delhi. And then that became true. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq died on the outskirts of Delhi in an accident when the entire pavilion collapsed, when the elephants were being, were being displayed on that particular dais. So the entire pavilion collapsed, and he died, and he was crushed along with his eldest son. So this complex, Nizamuddin Aulia Dargah complex, contains the tombs of Amir Khusru and Jahanara Begum. So here, so I have been here, very true saint Nizamuddin Aulia. So I had a Muslim friend. I was in Delhi that time. I had gone here. So, and I got some beautiful experience after that. So also houses tombs of Amir Khusru and Jahanara Begum. So Amir Khusru, he was in the court of Alauddin Khalji. He saw the rule of 7 Delhi sultans. Amir Khusru, he was called the parrot of India. Remember, Alauddin Khalji called him Tute-e-Hind, parrot of India. So he has also he has been buried in this complex, right? And then Jahanara Begum. Who was Jahanara Begum? Jahanara Begum was the eldest daughter of Shah Jahan, who took care of him. Aurangzeb arrested his father, put him under house arrest. So Jahanara Begum was the eldest daughter of Shah Jahan, who tended to him, who took care of him. And when he died, she was the one who got his body buried next to that of her mother, Mumtaz Mahal, right? So she is Jahanara Begum, daughter of Shah Jahan. So this complex, Nizamuddin Aulia Dargah complex, has the tombs of 3 people: Nizamuddin Aulia himself, then Amir Khusro, and Jahanara Begum. Right. So then we come to Tughlaqs. So here we have the Tughlaqs. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq built the city of Tughlaqabad. You know this, Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. So he built this. You can see this. This is Tughlaqabad. So I believe he built it in 1321 and abandoned it in 1327 because of water problem. So it was abandoned because of shortage of water. 1321 it was built. So Tughlaqabad, the third city of Delhi. So Mehroli, Siri, Tughlaqabad, third one, built by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Now the Tughlaqs used gray sandstone. So gray sandstone was used in their buildings, and because of that reason, it is very hard. So because of that reason, very less decoration is possible. So they used gray sandstone, and since it is very hard, therefore minimum decoration is possible. Minimum decoration. So Tughlaq buildings look very plain for that reason. And also they used a design called battar, that is floating. Battar is a sloping wall. This is called a battar. So when you build a wall, this is called a battar. So when you build a wall like this, it is supposed to add strength to the wall. So they used battar or sloping walls. The dome had a fort-like appearance. Buildings were placed on a platform. Sloping walls of battar was used. Use of gray sandstone, right? Minimum decoration. all those things. Right? Are you there with me? Not pattar, battar. Pattar, Kavana pattar means stone. Here, battar. I said battar, Battar. Battar, sloping walls. Right? Then, then we have, of course, mm, so here we have Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. You know that. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So from Delhi to Devagiri, he shifted the capital, and he called Devagiri as Daulatabad. So he had planned a 1,000-pillared palace there, a huge fort, etc. But none of it remains. He abandoned it. He abandoned Daulatabad after 6 years because of opposition. It was not a popular decision, so he abandoned it. So they're all in ruins, and it was also incomplete. He had planned a 1,000-pillared palace, a fort, etc. So nothing of it remains. Firuz Shah Tughlaq was a great builder. He was a great builder, Firuz. Just hold on. So I'll use another page here. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq, he was interested in building, but then what we notice is Firuz Tughlaq's buildings look very plain. His buildings look very plain. Minimum decoration is seen. Why do we see his buildings plain with minimum decoration? Because of two reasons. One is his predecessor Muhammad bin Tughlaq had shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, right? And when he shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, understand this, many architects, engineers, masons, etc., they all went away to the south, and they never returned back. So there was dearth of architects, engineers, masons who will add to the beauty of the buildings. So there was shortage of architects, engineers, etc., um, who had gone away to the south, who had migrated to the south. And number two is the treasury had become empty, because Muhammad bin Tughlaq, because of his grand projects, 5 grand projects we have looked at: transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri, then increased land revenue in the door, then the token currency, where he introduced bronze coins in place of silver coins. So all his 5 projects, Khorasan campaign, Karajal expedition. Because of that reason, treasury had almost become empty. By the time Firuz Shah Tughlaq came to power, so though he wanted to beautify his buildings, he could not because of these two reasons. Did you understand? Hello, are you there with me? Interesting, I hope. So treasury had almost become empty because of his predecessor, because of MBT's grand projects, and also because of shortage of architects, engineers, etc., who had migrated to the south. So therefore, Firuz buildings look very plain. Now, Firuz founded 4 fortress cities. Firuz Shah Tughlaq, he founded 4 fortress cities. What is the meaning of fortress cities? You have a city, and surrounding the city is a fort. Those are called fortress cities. So, what are the fortress cities he established? Of course, number one, Jaunpur. Jaunpur. So, established Jaunpur. Then, of course, Fatehabad. Fatehabad. Number three, Hisar and Firuzabad. Firuzabad. Okay, so Jaunpur, Fatahabad, Hisar, and Firuzabad. These are the cities, fortress cities established by Firuz, and of course, the Firuzabad was the fifth city he built, fifth city of Delhi. This is the fifth city of Delhi, Firuzabad, and now it is called Firuz Kotla, Firuz Shah Kotla, Firuz Shah Kotla. Uh, and as you know, he brought two pillars from Topra and Meerut to Delhi to beautify his capital, Delhi Topra, Delhi Meerut. So two pillars from Meerut, one from Topra in Haryana, and one from Meerut, UP. He brought it to Delhi to beautify his capital, new capital, Firuzabad. Firuz built a number of mosques. So what are the various mosques he built? So he built a number of mosques. Number one, he built the Kali Masjid. Begumpuri, then Kirki Masjid, Kaaba Masjid. So Kali Masjid, Begumpuri Masjid, Kirki Masjid, Khirki, and Kaaba Masjid. And Firuz also built his own tomb, and also that of his prime minister called Khani Jahan Tilangani on a ridge called House Khas. So Firuz built his own tomb and also that of his prime minister. His prime minister's name was Khani Jahan Tilangani. Khani Jahan Tilangani. So he was from Telangana. Khani Jahan Tilangani, hence called Tilangani. He was from Telangana in Andhra. Khani Jahan Tilangani. So Firoz not only built his own tomb, but also that of his prime minister. And this Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb in Delhi. Telangani's tomb first octagonal tomb in Delhi. So I did not have time to put this extra information in the PPT. So therefore, I beg your pardon for that, but I did not have the time. So is it fine? I hope I'm able to carry convey whatever I'm telling you. It's clear. So he built a number of mosques. These are the mosques built by Firuz Shah Tughlaq. Then he built his own tomb and also that of his prime minister Khani Jahan Tilangani. Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb in Delhi. Octagon means 8 sides, isn't it? Eight sides. 8 sides, 10 sides. Hexagon is 10, na? So this is on a ridge called House Khas. So this is on a ridge called House Khas. Built his own tomb and also that of his prime minister Khani Jahan Tilangani on a ridge. On a ridge. This was built on a ridge. On a ridge. You have an area in Delhi called House Khas, on a ridge called House Khas. House Khas. Right? Octagonal is 8. Yeah. I've forgotten my algebra mathematics. Okay, we'll come back here. Prime Minister. He was the Prime Minister of Tra. He was the Prime Minister of Firuz Shah Tughlaq. Khani Jahan Tilangani. Khani Jahan Tilangani. Then we come to the Lodhis. The Lodhis, you can see, they built double domes. They were known for their tombs. Lodhis were only known for their tombs. So here, you can see here, they built tombs. And so like this, they built tombs on a big platform. and they put a garden around it. They put a garden around it. So since it is built on a height, since it is built at a height, it gives a pleasing skyline. And they used a dome within a dome. That is a double dome. They used a dome within a dome called a double dome. This is called a double dome. You can see here on your screen. This is called a double dome. So what is the advantage? So this is called a double dome, a dome within a dome. What is the advantage of a double dome? Number one, it reduces the height of the ceiling. Number one is reduces height of ceiling. Height of the ceiling. And more importantly, it adds strength to the dome. The dome adds strength to the dome. It adds strength to the dome. That's okay. So this is a double dome, a dome within a dome, reduces the height of the ceiling and adds strength to the dome. So the Lodhis were known for this. Sayyids did not build anything, Sham. Sayyids, nothing too much to talk about the Sayyids. Absolutely nothing. First point is Yasin. It will add to the strength of the dome. You can see here, this is a double dome, a dome within a dome. So when you have a double dome, it reduces the height of the ceiling. You see, the ceiling inside is, the height is reduced. I'll show you wait. So the ceiling height is reduced. Okay, this height is reduced because of a double dome, of the second dome, which is within the main dome. So height of the ceiling is reduced, reduces the height of the ceiling, adds strength to the dome, and then it gives us pleasing skyline because when it is built at a height, it looks beautiful. It gives us pleasing skyline. So you can see here, this is Sikandar Lodhi's tomb. Sikandar Lodhi's tomb in Delhi. It has been built at a height. Okay, they have used Rajasthani, Gujarati kiosks. You can see here, these are the kiosks. Chhatris as they're called. So these are the kiosks. You can see these are Rajasthani Gujarati design. And you have a garden, beautiful garden around this tomb. So this is the first example of a tomb garden. First example of a tomb garden, a garden around a tomb. So come here, use of double dome. Thick walls were made. Enamel tiles were used for decoration, showing Persian influence. Buildings were on a platform with gardens at the sides. Octagonal shaped domes became common. Octagonal shaped domes. Of course, I told you Telangana's tomb was the first octagonal tomb, but it became common under the Lodhis. Are you there with me? So they built some important tombs, the Lodhis, for example. So what are the two important tombs? Bara Khan ka Gumbad. Bara Khan ka Gumbad. Bara Khan ka Gumbad. Chota Khan ka Gumbad. Chota Khan. And Poli ka Gumbad. Poli ka Gumbad. Right? So Bara Khan ka Gumbad, Chota Khan ka Gumbad, Poli ka Gumbad. So Lodhis, we have discussed Lodhis. So you can see Sikandar Lodhi's tomb. So some extra information is there in this PPT. Go through it. Then we come to provincial style. Provincial style, second phase, provincial style. Tomb is Makbara and dome is half circle. Okay, thank you, Tra. We'll come back here. What's a gumbad? Gumbad is no, gumbad is a tomb. Gumbad is a tomb. Probably it is referring to the dome on top. Okay. Now we come to the second phase. Um, you can take down phase two. Phase two. So phase one is 11th century to 14th century AD. We have done. Then phase two. Phase two, provincial style. Phase two, provincial style. You take down Herman Gottes. Herman Herman Gottes has divided the art of the provincial sultanates. Has divided the art of the provincial sultanates into three groups. Into three groups. Kavana refer to this one. What do you call Nitin Singhania? You refer to Nitin Singhania, and whatever you are learning in the class, you know, this is a supplement to Nitin Singhania. Use this as a supplement to Nitin Singhania. I have covered quite a lot of information in this, but then please read it. Read Nitin Singhania's book at least once. So that is the Bible for art and culture. Okay. So Herman Gottes, I have taken my information from many books. So therefore, not from one source. So therefore, you just read one book. That's enough, and then keep abreast of the current affairs. Whatever is coming in the current affairs, newspapers, etc. Keep updating yourself. So Herman Gottes divides the art of the provincial sultanate into three groups. Number one, Delhi style. Number one, Delhi style. Delhi style, seen in the states of Jaunpur, Nagaur, and Malwa. Seen in the states of Jaunpur, Nagaur, and Malwa. Number two, Hindu style or Hindu tradition. Hindu style in Kashmir, Bengal, Gujarat. Seen in Kashmir, Gujarat, and Bengal. And number three, Deccan style. So he divides the art of the provincial sultanates into three groups: Delhi style, Hindu style, Deccan style. Deccan style is obviously seen in Deccan. So we will discuss one by one, and whatever extra points I have to give you, I'll give you now. Okay. So you keep writing. So we'll come back here. Three main styles. The main styles are Bengal, Gujarat, Kashmir. So after the death of Alauddin Khilji died in 1316. You all know 1316, Alauddin Khilji died. So once Alauddin Khilji died, the central authority became weak. Central government became weak. So many of the governors under the Delhi Sultans proclaimed themselves independent. And thus they established independent sultanates in Bengal, Gujarat, Jaunpur, etc. Hence, it is called provincials. And the type of architecture which developed in those provinces are called provincial styles. Provincial styles of architecture. Now, first of all, Bengal. On your screen, Bengal. So, where are the buildings found in Bengal? Buildings are found at Malda, Pandua, Tribeni, Gaur, Vikrampur. Okay, so mostly they are found in Gaur and Pandua. Gaur and Pandua. So, important buildings. So, what are the features of Bengal style? Use of black marble, schist, and bricks. So, locally available black marble, schist, and bricks. Roofs are convex because it's a heavy rainfall area. Since it rains heavily in Bengal, the roofs are convex so that the water falls and easily goes away. Right? Use of black marble, schist, and bricks. So here, these are called, roofs are convex. They are called Bangla roofs. Hence, they are called Bangla roofs. Okay. So, what are the important buildings at Gaur? So, here, important buildings at Gaur. Right. Important buildings at Gaur. What are the important buildings at Gaur? Dakhil Darwaza. So, I'll write it here only. Gaur. Important buildings at Gaur. Number one is Dakhil Darwaza. Dakhil Darwaza. This was built in the 15th century. Dakhil Darwaza 1459 to 74. And the Dakhil Darwaza, or also called Salami Gateway. It is also called Salami Gateway. Right. Then, of course, we have Chota Sona Masjid, Bada Sona Masjid. So, this is number one, Dakhil Darwaza. Number two is the Chota Sona Masjid. Chota Sona Masjid. And number three, Bada Sona Masjid. Bara Sona Masjid. These are the important buildings at Gaur. Then we come to Pandua. What are the important? I'm writing on the page. Is it fine? These names are very difficult to even for pronunciation. No, Sham, you just have to revise. Chota is chota, small. Bara is bada. Bada is big. So you just have to revise. Then, so this is Gaur. Then we come to Pandua. So Pandua, what are the important buildings at Pandua? Pandua. So here the important buildings are, of course, the Adina Masjid, built by Sikandar Shah. Number one, Adina Masjid. Adina Masjid, built by Sikandar Shah. This was Sikandar Shah ruled Bengal between 1358 and 89. Not important, but just writing. I'm writing it in the context. And this is probably the largest Muslim building in India. Adina Masjid at Pandua is probably, or perhaps the largest Muslim building in India. Largest Muslim building in India. The Adina Masjid at Pandua. It has 400 domes. The Adina Masjid has 400 domes. So it is large. So largest Muslim building would be larger than the Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur, larger than the Taj Mahal. So it must be very huge. The Adina Masjid at Pandua is perhaps the largest Muslim building in India. Clear. So this is about Bengal. Right. Then we come to Gujarat. You can see Gujarat. So tradition of temple architecture continued here. That is, even the Muslim buildings. So we have some styles of medieval Jain temples incorporated for Muslim worship. So Some of the styles of Hindu temples, Jain temples were incorporated in Muslim buildings. Use of limestone carvings, geometrical designs, decorated buttresses. What is a buttress? You can see on your screen. This is called a buttress on your screen. So there's a side wall which has been reinforced. This is called a buttress. See, this side and that side. So decorated buttress is a structure of stone. It's basically a structure of stone or brick built against a wall to strengthen or support it. So this is called a buttress. So we see buttresses in Gujarat. So here, what are the important buildings in Gujarat? So we're talking about Gujarat now. I'll use a separate page, Gujarat. So first of all, so they used, so some of the important buildings, let us take down. So we have the city of Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad, founded by Ahmad Shah the First. Number one, Gujarat, Ahmedabad city. Ahmedabad city, founded in AD in 1411 by Ahmad Shah, King Ahmad Shah the First. So he was the one who founded the city, Ahmad Shah. Then he also built the Teen Darwaza. So number two, Teen Darwaza. Teen Darwaza or Triple Gateway. In English, Triple Gateway. Triple Gateway. This is 37 feet in height. 37 feet in height. Built by Ahmad Shah. Ahmad Shah the First. Right. Then we have number three, Mahmud Begara. King Mahmud the First Begara, known for his voracious appetite. So he lived in the 15th century, 1459 to 1511. And this Mahmud Begara founded a few cities like Champaner. He founded Champaner, then Junagadh and Kheda. So he founded Champaner, Junagadh and Kheda. Then we also have a number of step wells or baulis constructed in Gujarat. So Gujarat, many parts are in a semi-arid zone. Rajasthan is next to it. So we have a number of vows or baulis. What are baulis or vows? Step wells. Step wells constructed in Gujarat. The best example of a vow is the Bai Hari vow. Bai Hari vow at Ahmedabad. And then number two, we have a vow at Adalaj. Vow at Adalaj, near Ahmedabad. Near Ahmedabad. So these are the buildings, important buildings in Gujarat. Most important ones I'm giving you. Okay, so Ahmedabad city founded by Ahmad Shah in 1411. Teen Darwaza, Triple Gateway, again founded by Ahmad Shah. It is 37 feet in height. And Mahmud Begara founded these three cities, Champaner, Junagadh, Kheda. Then we have a number of vows or baulis constructed, step wells, by Hari Vav in Ahmedabad. My voice is breaking. Stephen says my voice is breaking. What about others? Hello? Yasmin says no. Yeah, it's clearly audible, I believe. Stephen, maybe from your end, check it up, please. Vav at Adalaj. So these are the important buildings in Gujarat. Then we move on. So Gujarat, I've told. Then we come to Malwa. Malwa. So structures are located at Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Malwa in Madhya Pradesh, near Madhya Pradesh. Mandu. So buildings are located at Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. So domes on high drums, absence of minarets in mosques. So there are no minars. Like for example, in a mosque you have minarets on the four corners. In Taj Mahal we have minarets on the four corners. So there are no minarets in Malwa in the mosques. Ogival arches. These are ogival arches. You can see on your screen. These are ogival arches. This is an example of an ogival arch. And fine jali, a perforated window. You can see this is an example of a fine jali. Jali is perforated window. Perforated. I'm sorry. Perforation is what? With holes. So perforated window. Okay, so Malwa. Let me see what are the buildings at Malwa. So take down important buildings at Malwa. Lose another page. Malwa. So Malwa. So we have at Mandu. So buildings are at Mandu, Malwa, Mandu. So what are the buildings at Mandu? So we have Kamal Maula Masjid, Kamal Maula Masjid, Lal Masjid, then Jami Masjid, Jami Masjid built by Sultan Hushang. Then we have Ashrafi Mahal, Hindola Mahal, and Jahaz Mahal. Jahaz, is like a ship. Jahaz Mahal. They're all built by Sultan Mahmud the First. Built by Sultan Mahmud the First. So he ruled between 1436 to 69. Yeah, Malwa. Yes, Malwa style. Stephen, it is Malwa. Mahal is an Mahal is also could be also a palace. Yes, Yasin. Mahal is an assembly hall. Could be an assembly hall. It could be a palace. Taj Mahal. No, Mahal is more like a palace. Assembly hall it could also be that. So Malwa style is also called Patan School. It's also called Patan School of Architecture. Patan School of Architecture. So here in Malwa style, we have use of different colored stones and marbles. Use of different colored stones and marbles. Then buildings had large windows. Buildings had large windows due to European influence. This is due to European influence. Decorated with arches and pillars. Okay, so then, yeah, use of different colored stones and marbles. Buildings had large windows because of European influence and decorated with arches and pillars. Again, minars not used. Minars not used. See, we are discussing it in detail, but UPSC till now they have never asked about the features of provincial architectural styles. They have never asked features of provincial architectural styles. They have asked important buildings, where they are located, or what is the type of material used, building material used. They have asked like that. They have now never asked what are the different styles used, etc. They have not asked till now. So I presume they might not ask, but still we cannot take chances. I'm giving you the important points. Are you there with me? Hello, all of you. Sultan Hushang Shah, Hushang, Sultan Hushang, Dikshit, Hushang, Hushang. Sultan Hushang. Minarets not used. Minars are not used. Mandu. Ashrafi Mahal. No, only Jami Masjid is built by Sultan Hushang. Jami Masjid is built by Sultan Hushang, right? Then the other three, Ashrafi Mahal, Hindola Mahal, Jahaz Mahal by Sultan Mahmud the First. Okay, then we come to next. So we have done Malwa, then we come to Kashmir. So wooden architecture is here used locally. Now, wooden architecture, use of wooden architecture in Kashmir. Show Buddhist influence. Hindu temples converted to mosques. And then pyramid roof, crowned with long, slender spire. So this is the example is Kankasha Mosque. This is the Kankasha Mosque. Kankasha Mosque or Kanka Mullah in Srinagar. So wooden architecture show Buddhist influence. Pyramidal roof, crowned with long, slender spire. So this is about Kashmir. Then we come to Jaunpur. Jaunpur on your screen. Jaunpur. So arcade trapeze systems used. That is both arch and dome and the slab and beam method. So both are used here. Propylon screens are used. You can see what is propylon screen. I have explained it here. A propylon is an architectural feature found in medieval monuments, which is basically a massive entrance to a grand monument. So this is a massive entrance. You can see in this picture. This is a massive entrance to a grand monument. Usually it is arched in Islamic buildings. That's called a propylon screen. So they have used propylon screens in Jaunpur, right? Propylon screen and absence of minarets. Example, Atala Devi Mosque. Absence of minarets. This is the Atala Mosque in Jaunpur. So this was a Devi temple. It was a goddess temple converted into a mosque. So that's why it's called Atala Devi Mosque. So here this was um, converted into a mosque in 1408. Atala Devi's Mosque. So it was erected, Atala Devi's Mosque, erected on the Hindu temple of Atala Devi in 1408. So it was erected on the Hindu temple. Erected on a Hindu temple of Atala Devi in 1408. Right. So this is about Jaunpur. Then we go to Khandesh. Khandesh or Faruqi style buildings at Thalner and Burhanpur. Khandesh. Northwest Deccan. Khandesh would be Northwest Deccan. So what is the style there? Khandeshi. Khandeshi is Northwest Deccan. Northwest Deccan. So Khandesh and Akbar conquered this, you remember, and he under his son Danial, he sent his son Danial, and Khandesh was renamed Dandesh, Dandesh, after Prince Danial. So Akbar sent his son Prince Danial, one of his sons Danial, to conquer this area. So this area came to be called Dandesh after that. So we have buildings at Talner and Burhanpur here, influence of Gujarat style, similar tombs at Mandu. Then we have Deccan. Deccan style. I there with all of you. So Kashmir style, basically they have used wood. So whatever is there in the PPT, that remains. No extra points for Kashmir, Dipesh. Wooden architecture show Buddhist influence. Hindu temples have been converted into mosques, and pyramidal roof crowned with long, slender spire is used, like in the Kankasha Mosque. So it is Atala Devi Mosque. It is Atala Mosque. You can write Atala Mosque. It is considered on the Hindu temple of Atala Devi in 1408. So you can write Atala Mosque. Yeah, you can write Atala Mosque. It is no more a Devi temple. It is a mosque now. You can write Atala Mosque. If you write Atala Devi Mosque, doesn't matter because if we have historical proof there. You can see architectural proof is there. Right. Then we come to Deccan style. Deccan style. Now understand this. Deccan style is an amalgamation of two styles. Deccan style. It's an amalgamation of the Persian style and the Delhi styles. Deccan style. Deccan style. Fusion is a fusion of Persian and Deccan style. It's a fusion of Persian and Deccan style. Yeah, it is full of facts, but then that's how it is. Can't help it. Sham, now let us understand this fusion of Persian and Deccan style. Now, who was the founder of the Bahmani kingdom? Hello, who was the founder of the Bahmani kingdom? Gangu, yes, yeah, Hassan Gangu. Very good, Stephen. Hassan Gangu. So Hassan Gangu, very good. Dipesh, funny. So Hassan Gangu was the founder of the Bahmani kingdom, and Hassan Gangu was an adventurer from West Asia. He was an adventurer. So he was an adventurer, and he came to South India, and destiny willed it that he became the founder of a kingdom, which he called it as Bahmani kingdom after his name. Hassan Gangu took the title Abdul Muzaffar Alauddin Bahman Shah and founded the Bahmani kingdom. So he was basically from that area, Persia, West Asia. So even after he became the emperor, even after he founded the kingdom and became a king, he was in touch with his homeland, with West Asia, Persia, West Asia. Persia is Iran, as you know. So when he became the king, Hassan Gangu, after establishing the Bahmani kingdom, many architects from Persia began to come to his kingdom in search of employment. So Bahmani kingdom, he became the founder of the Bahmani kingdom, and Persian architects, engineers began to come to his kingdom, and in search of employment. Okay, so he gave them employment. So we have Persian style in South India. Then what happened? I said it is a fusion of Persian and Deccan style. Persian and Delhi style. I'm sorry, Persian and Delhi style, not Deccan, Delhi style. Persian and Delhi style. Make that correction, please. Persian and Delhi style, not Deccan style, Delhi style. Now we have Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, Daulatabad, which he called Daulatabad. And later he retransferred the capital back to Delhi. But when he transferred the capital from Delhi to Devagiri or Daulatabad, many architects, engineers, masons, etc., they came to South India. And when he reshifted the capital back to Delhi, they never went back along with him. They never went back to Delhi. They stayed back in the south, and they sought employment under the Bahmani Sultan. So these architects and engineers were trained in the Delhi style of architecture. So here we have a fusion of Persian and Delhi styles happening in the Deccan style. Deccan. Did you understand? So therefore, it's a fusion of Persian and Delhi styles. The Deccan style. Hello, Persian style because the Bahmani founder kept in touch with his homeland, wherever he came from, West Asia, Persia, and therefore architects, engineers came to South India, and he gave them employment. Delhi style also because many of the Delhi architects, engineers who came with the transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri by Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not go back to Delhi. They stayed back in the Deccan and they sought employment under the Bahmani sultans. So therefore, it's a mingling of fusion of Persian and Delhi styles. So we have bulbous dome with lotus neck, for example, Gol Gumbas, military architecture, typically Tughlaq style. Military architecture, it's very plain. Use of thick walls, flat dome, use of squinch system, combination of mosque and gateway, for example, Charminar. So these are the important aspects of Deccan style. You can see here Gol Gumbas, the tomb of Muhammad Adil Shah, located at Bijapur. We have discussed this. Gol Gumbas at Bijapur. It has the second largest dome in the world. It is a tomb of Muhammad Adil Shah of Bijapur. The biggest dome is that of St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican, Rome. Then Ibrahim Rauza. This is Ibrahim Rauza, the tomb of Ibrahim Adil Shah II of Bijapur. This was designed by an architect called Malik Sandal, an Ethiopian eunuch available. So he was an Ethiopian eunuch, Malik Sandal. He was the one who designed this building, and this is supposed to be the best example of Deccan architecture. That is a Bijapuri style. Best example of Bijapuri monuments is this, not Gol Gumbas, but this one, the Ibrahim Rauza, according to Henry Cousins. That's what Henry Cousins says. So Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur is the tomb of Ibrahim Adil Shah II. Eunuch, Yasin Eunuch is a transgender. Barakaman in Karnataka is built on which style? I don't know, Stephen. Barakaman in Karnataka is in which style? Barakaman in Bijapur. Is it in Bijapur? Barakaman. Stephen, I'm not very sure about this. Barakaman. Okay. So probably it must be in the Deccan style. I'm not very sure about it, but probably it is in the local style, the Deccan style. Then Kuli Qutub Mulk founded Qutub Shahi dynasty, built the Golconda fort. Remember all this factual information, Kuli Qutub Mulk. Then Ibrahim Qutub Shah built the Hussain Sagar Lake and the Ibrahim Patnam tanks at Hyderabad. Muhammad Kuli Qutub Shah built the city of Hyderabad, earlier called Bhagyanagar and Charminar. So he built both Hyderabad and Charminar. And Muhammad Qutub Shah built the Makkah Masjid at Hyderabad, which was completed by Aurangzeb. Right? So these are the important buildings. This is Charminar at Hyderabad, the Makkah Masjid at Hyderabad. So this is about the provincial styles, the provincial style. We would examined all of them. One more thing you can mention is we have the madrasa at Bidar. Madrasa. What is a madrasa? So madrasa is a college. Madrasa. This was built in 1472 at Bidar. This is located in Bidar. Madrasa of Mahmud Gawan, built by Mahmud Gawan. Built by Mahmud Gawan. Minister of Muhammad Shah III. So madrasa at Bidar, built by Mahmud Gawan, Minister of Muhammad Shah III. It is located in Bidar. Okay. Okay. So then we come to Mughal architecture. We come to Mughal architecture. Third phase, phase three of Indo-Islamic architecture, Mughal architecture. So you know about the great Mughals, the Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. So Babur was busy fighting wars. 4 years he fought 4 wars, but with all that busy schedule of he fighting wars, he built a few mosques. So what are the mosques he built at? Where are the mosques he built at? Panipat. So he built the mosques at Panipat, then Rohilkhand, Agra, and Ayodhya. And of course, uh, he was not very impressed with Indian art and architecture. He invited a person called Sinan. So Sinan was an Albanian architect. So he was from Albania. So Sinan was an Albanian architect who was invited by Babur, architect. And after that, we have a number of students of Albanian architect Sinan coming to India. So he had invited this Sinan, and his disciples came, his students came, and they were responsible for influencing the Mughal architecture. So, of course, he employed Indian masons, but then he invited this Albanian architect. So, one mosque became controversial at the one at Ayodhya, and it was demolished. The mosque at Ayodhya. So this is the Kabuli Bagh Mosque at Panipat, built by Babur. This is the Babri Masjid at Ayodhya, which was demolished. Right. So this is about Babur. So he built only mosques. Then we come to Humayun. Humayun, as you know, again he lost the empire to Sher Shah. So he ruled from 1530 to 40 and 1555 to 56. So for 15 years there was no Mughal empire. For 15 years there was no Mughal empire. So Humayun founded the city of Deen Pana, isn't it? Fifth city of Delhi. Humayun built the fifth city of Delhi. Sorry, sixth city of Delhi. Sixth city, Deen Pana. Now it is called Shergarh. Now it is called Shergarh. Then one mosque at Fatehabad he built in Punjab. This is the Fatehabad mosque. You can see here. This is the Fatehabad mosque built by Humayun. So he built the sixth city of Delhi, Deen Pana, and the Fatehabad mosque. Then, of course, we come to Humayun's tomb. So you can see on your screen, this is Humayun's tomb. This was built by one of his wives, that is Akbar's mother, Hamida Banu Begum, 8 years after the death of her husband, Humayun. So this has a marble dome, as you can see. The dome is marble. The rest of the building is made of red sandstone. And this is where the Mughal architecture begins from. Mughal architecture begins from Humayun's tomb. This is considered to be the precursor of the Taj Mahal. So many of the design elements in the Taj have been copied from Humayun's tomb. So, so Mughal architecture begins from here. The first real Mughal style ground plan is Indian. Persian tiles and white marble have been used. First of the Mughal scheme of tomb gardens. So this is the first example of a Mughal tomb garden. So there's a garden around Humayun's tomb. So double dome treatment, precursor of the Taj Mahal. That's to be precursor of the Taj Mahal. So Humayun's tomb, so constructed by Hamida Banu Begum. Hamida Banu Begum. So construction began in 1564, 8 years after the death of her husband. So Hamida Banu Begum, that is Akbar's mother. Construction began in 1564. He died in 1556, 1555, 1556. 1555 he died. The construction began 8 years after his death. And The architect was Malik Mirza Ghias, Persian architect. So the architect is a Persian one, Persian architect. Malik Mirza Ghias. Sir, in these tombs, is there any rooms for stay? Tomb, I don't think so. It's meant for staying, Sham. No, no. It's a king's tomb, so obviously it will be very huge. I don't think anybody would be allowed to stay there. So Persian architect Malik Mirza Ghias was the one who designed this Humayun's tomb, and it is considered to be the precursor of the Taj Mahal. So they have used the dome is marble. They have used both black and white marble. The entire building is red marble, red sandstone. So dome is marble. Then the building is made of red sandstone building, and they have used also uh, white and black marble, white and black marble. But the dome is marble. The dome is entirely marble. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Humayun's tomb is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Right? Then we come to Akbar. Akbar, as you all know, was a great builder. He built a number of buildings. Akbar. Um, so he built, the city of, he built a number of forts. He built forts at Agra, Fatehpur Sikri. He found the city of Fatehpur Sikri, Lahore, the Buland Darwaza, the tallest gateway in the world, Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri. Found the city of Fatehpur Sikri also. And he built a number of palaces for his Rajput queens on the Gujarat Rajasthan model. So his architecture was nationalist in character, and his buildings are huge, original in design, huge in size. Um, so let us look at the important buildings of Akbar. So you have all these three elements mixed in Akbar's buildings: Mughal, then Indo-Islamic, and Rajput styles, Rajput forms. Uh, they were kept in a pleasing balance. So there was a pleasing balance of all these styles in his building: Mughal, Indo-Islamic, and Rajput forms. Now, Agra Fort was built by him. As you can see, this is the Agra Fort built by Akbar. Agra Fort. It is semicircular in plan. What are the important buildings inside the Agra Fort? Important buildings inside the Agra Fort. Um, so you see, most of the buildings which were built by Akbar inside the Agra Fort were demolished by Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was a lover of marble. Akbar had built all his buildings in red sandstone, and Shah Jahan did not like it. So what he did is he demolished all those buildings except two buildings which have remained. One is the Jahangiri Mahal, and another is the Akbari Mahal. Jahangiri Mahal, and add this here on your PPT, and Akbari Mahal. Akbari Mahal. These two were built by Akbar. Jahangiri Mahal, Akbari Mahal inside the Agra Fort. Rest all buildings were demolished by Shah Jahan. So what are the buildings built by Shah Jahan inside the Red Fort? Inside the Agra Fort, or rather, inside the Agra Fort, you have the Moti Masjid inside the Agra Fort. Then Diwan-e Am. What is Diwan-e Am? You see, Aam is Aam Admi. Aam Admi means common man. So the emperor will meet the public in the Diwan-e Aam. So in the people will be waiting for the in the Diwan-e Aam, and the emperor will come. Diwan-e Khas. Khas is, Khas Admi is somebody who is very special, very clear, dear to the emperor, or very special person is coming. Let's say some ambassador is coming from Persia to meet the emperor. He is coming from a long from a very far off place. So the emperor will give him a special treatment. He'll usher him in and ask him to be seated in the Diwan-e Khas. So, like that. So Diwan-e Aam. Aam is meant for the Aam Army. And Diwan-e Khas. Diwan-e Khas. So Motia Masjid, Diwan-e Aam, Diwan-e Khas. And outside the Agra fort, as you know, Satyam, Sham, outside the Agra fort, the main gate, we have two statues of Jaiman and Patta, which had been installed by Akbar on Akbar's order on two marble elephants, but with spears. So they were shown with spears sitting on two marble elephants, black marble elephants, but the elephants have disintegrated, marble being, much more brittle compared to granite. So they have disintegrated because of the weather. And only the bust of these two heroes remain. So that was taken to the Delhi gate. It has been installed outside the Delhi gate of the Red Fort in Delhi. So you can see here I've put here Rao, Jaiman, and Patta. Rao, Jaiman, and Patta. These two heroes fought against Akbar. When Akbar attacked Chittor, Rana Uday Singh II, along with Rana Pratap, young Rana Pratap and the family, they escaped. And Rao, Jaiman, and Patta fought against Akbar's army of 30,000 with just 3,000 men. But they were killed. But then Akbar wanted to commend their bravery, recognize their bravery. So he ordered that they be placed, these two heroes, be shown with spears sitting onto elephants of black marble, and they were made to stand. These two statues were installed outside the main gate of the Agra fort. But later they were taken and kept outside the Delhi gate of the Red Fort. So this is what is remains outside the Delhi gate. Elephants are missing, as you can see. So they originally stood at the fort at Agra. So this is the Agra fort built by Akbar. So then, of course, inside the Agra fort, there were 5,000 women. Akbar had kept 5,000 women in the harem. 5,000 women were in Akbar's harem inside the Agra fort. Inside the Agra fort, there was a harem consisting of 5,000 women. So, harem inside Agra fort. Okay. Then Akbar founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri. So Akbar did not remember in whose memory did he. Harem is where women are kept. Nationalist in character, Yasin, nationalist in character is, see, Akbar married many Rajput princesses. Apart from, Muslim girls, he also married Rajput princesses, Rajasthani, Gujarati princesses. So therefore, he accommodated the taste of these women. So they would continue to worship Hindu gods, the princesses. They were given Muslim names, though. For example, Harka Bai was called Maryam Uzzamani, like that, right? So, the Rajasthani, Gujarati architectural styles are seen in the palaces, in the buildings of Akbar. So that's why nationalist in character. Okay, nationalist in character. He's incorporated many design elements, not just of Mughal style. Right. Then we have the city of Fatehpur Sikri. Fatehpur Sikri, yeah, Zeba, Salim Chisti. Correct. So Akbar did not have children for many years, even after he was married to many women. And then he prayed to Sheikh Salim Chisti. He went to the saint, Sufi saint of the Chisti order called Sheikh Salim Chisti, and asked him, express his pain that he doesn't have any children, and that he should be blessed. He should be prayed on his behalf to God Allah, and then he should be blessed. Thereupon, Sheikh Salim Chisti prayed on behalf of Akbar to God Allah, and then he came out and he told Akbar, assured Akbar that he will have not one but many children, and he should not be afraid. And then Salim was born after a long time, and that boy was named Salim after Sheikh Salim Chisti. And this city, Fatehpur Sikri, was founded by Akbar in honor of Sheikh Salim Chisti. Sheikh Salim Chisti. It was called Fatehpur Sikri. And this served as the seat of the imperial court from 1569 to 1584. So 1569 to 84. Fatehpur Sikri was a seat of the imperial court. The imperial court functioned from here. Seat of imperial court from 1569 to 84. The Buland Darwaza was constructed by Akbar in after conquering Gujarat, right? No. Salim Chisti. No, Dipesh, you're wrong here. So, Gujarat or Khandesh, specifically Khandesh. So once he conquered Khandesh, he ordered the construction of the Buland Darwaza. But the books say Gujarat. So once he conquered Gujarat, he built Buland Darwaza, which is the tallest gateway in the world even now, 175 feet in height on a ridge. So the height of the ridge is about 25 feet or 30 feet, and then when you take the height of the ridge also, it is about 135 feet. So 135 feet Buland Darwaza plus 30, it's almost about 175 feet totally, right? Height of the ridge may be about 40 feet. So 175 feet. So he considered the Buland Darwaza. We'll come to that. And then Salim Chasti, in his honor, he is supposed to have built Fatehpur Sikri, right? And this was the seat of the imperial court from 1569 to 84. And Fatehpur Sikri is called a frozen moment in history. Right? Add that, please. Fatehpur Sikri is called F Sikri, all right? F Sikri is called a frozen moment, a frozen moment in history. As buildings here blend Hindu and Persian styles. As buildings here, as buildings blend Hindu and Persian styles. Fatehpur Sikri is called a frozen moment in history. As buildings blend Hindu and Persian styles. Right. So what are the buildings at Fatehpur Sikri? On your screen, as you can see here, Panch Mahal. Can we take a break? What's the time now? 7:48. We can take a 10 minutes break, 10, 12 minutes break. It was abandoned. Why it's a ghost town? Because it's abandoned. Okay. Ghost town because it is abandoned. Okay, we'll meet at what time? Yeah, 8:05, 15 minutes. Take a 15 minutes break and come. We'll meet at 8:05 and continue this. 8:05. Good morning. Hello, all of you are back. Can we continue? Am I audible and visible? Ziba, in Humayun's tomb, only the dome is covered with marble. The rest of the building is made of red sandstone, and they have used white and black marble along with the red sandstone. The dome is purely marble. Ziba, did you get me? Okay. The dome is pure marble. Rest of the building, red sandstone, and again, they've used black and white marble for design. So we'll move on. So here, Fatehpur Sikri, it's a ghost town because it has been abandoned because of water problem. Because of water problem, he abandoned that particular city. So let us look at the important buildings here in Fatehpur Sikri. Panch Mahal. This is the Panch Mahal. You can see here, sometimes called Hawa Mahal also. Sometimes called Hawa Mahal. So this is called Panch Mahal. Shows the influence of Bengal and Gujarat, pyramidal in shape. So pyramidal in shape, and shows the influence of Gujarat and Bengal, Gujarat and Rajasthan, Bengal and Gujarat. Okay. Then Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri. This is the tallest gateway in the world, as you know. Buland Darwaza, built by Akbar. Buland Darwaza. This was built to commemorate or celebrate Emperor's victory over Khandesh in the Deccan. So most of the books say Gujarat. So this is 175 feet in height. So built ridge is about 134 feet in height. So it is 134 feet. 134 feet in height. And when you take the height of the ridge, it is about 175 feet. It's about 175 feet in height. If you take the height of the ridge also. So ridge would be about how many? Then about 134 plus about 35 feet. Maybe about 35 feet. Right? 35 feet. So this was built by Akbar to celebrate his conquest over Gujarat. Some books say Khandesh. Khandesh in the northwest of Maharashtra. Northwest Maharashtra. In 16, so this was the last conquest of Akbar in 1601. Last conquest of Akbar, Khandesh in the Deccan. So to celebrate the conquest of this, he built the Buland Darwaza. And please take down this, very interesting. Akbar, from the New Testament, we have the Holy Bible, and from the New Testament of the Holy Bible, he got the following words, a quote inscribed on the Buland Darwaza, on the gateway. He got it inscribed. Take down. Akbar had the following message addressed to all mankind. Akbar had the following message addressed to all mankind. Akbar had the following message, addressed to all mankind, inscribed on the Buland Darwaza. Inscribed on the Buland Darwaza. Jesus, son of Mary, Jesus, son of Mary, Jesus, son of Mary, open a bracket, on whom be peace, on whom be peace, said, Jesus, son of Mary, on whom be peace, said, open a quotation, the world is a bridge. The world is a bridge. Semicolon, pass over it. Pass over it. Semicolon, but build no house upon it. But build no house upon it. Semicolon, who hopes for an hour, who hopes for an hour, who hopes for an hour, comma, hopes for eternity. Who hopes for an hour, hopes for eternity. Full stop. The world is an hour. HOUR. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. So, I repeat, Akbar had the following message addressed to all mankind inscribed on the gateway, on the Buland Darwaza. In single inverted comma, Jesus, son of Mary, on whom be peace, said, open a quotation, the world is a bridge, semicolon, pass over it, semicolon, but build no house upon it. Semicolon, who hopes for an hour, hopes for eternity. Full stop. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. Close the quotation. Did you get me that? Hello, all of you? The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. Close the quotation. Can I continue? Hello? Okay. So here we have the Panch Mahal or the Hawa Mahal. Then, of course, we have the Buland Darwaza, the tomb of Sheikh Salim Chishti, which is of white marble, known for its jali or marble screen. This is the tomb of Sheikh Salim Chishti at Fatehpur Sikri. You can see here the jali work, beautiful jali work here. Okay, perforated windows, right? This is Sheikh Salim Chisti's tomb made of marble, pure white marble. Then Mariam's palace. Who's Mariam? Mariam's palace. This is Mariam's palace or golden palace. Who's Mariam? Who's Mariam? Jesus' mother. Rajneesh is right. Harkabai. Harkabai. So Harkabai, after marriage, after she was married to Akbar, was given a new name, Mariam uz Zamani. So this is Harkabai's palace, Mariam's palace. Jana, wife of Akbar. That is true. That is Harkabai, who was given a new name, Mariam uz Zamani. Right? Then we come to Jodhabai's palace. Jodhabai, this is supposed to be Jodhabai's palace. Then this is Birbal's palace. You can see a huge size Birbal's palace. Right? So these are the important buildings of Akbar. Then we come to Jahangir. So Jahangir, as you know, Jahangir is the person who completed the tomb of Akbar. Akbar had begun the construction of his mausoleum or tomb, but it could not be completed in Akbar's lifetime. Jahangir completed it. But then this is the tomb of Akbar. Akbar's tomb at Sikandara. But please understand, Jahangir made changes to the design which had been approved by Akbar. So we see temperamental differences between father and son. Akbar had already approved the design, but Jahangir made changes to the design of Akbar's tomb, which is at Sikandara near Agra. Right? Okay. Then Jahangir is a person who was more interested in gardening. You know, he laid a number of gardens. He was not a great builder, but then the peak of Mughal painting is under him. So he was more interested in painting than in buildings. And then, of course, he laid a number of gardens. Bagh is a garden, as you know. Bagh. So he laid a number of gardens. So what are the various gardens established or laid by Jahangir? One is, of course, the Shalimar Bagh in Kashmir. Shalimar Bagh. Shalimar Bagh in Kashmir. Then of course, we have the Dilkusha Gardens in Lahore. That was his pleasure garden, Dilkusha. Dilkusha Bagh. in Lahore, Pakistan. So that is where he has been laid to rest by his favorite queen Noor Jahan when he died. So um, right then, of course, we have Itmaduddaullah's tomb built by Itmadullah's daughter Noor Jahan. So this is the tomb of Itmaduddaulah. You can see here. This is Itmaduddaullah's tomb built by Noor Jahan for her father. It's at Agra, and this is the first Mughal building built entirely of marble and use of Pitradura. Entirely built of marble and use of Pitradura. So, so here, first building, first Mughal building built entirely of marble and use of Pitradura mosaic. So what is Pitradura? You see here, I'll show you another picture later, but then something like this. Let us say there's a design. You can see here, right? So let's say there's a piece of marble, okay, and I make a design like this, right? Like an 8. Now this is chipped off. This 8, wherever this 8 is, this is chipped off. Okay, this is chipped off like this. So this here there's a groove made, and marble here is chipped off, right? So there's a hole there. So then what will they do? They will fill up that with precious stones. So they'll fill up this with precious stones, right? And nicely polish it. So here it becomes part of the marble. I'll show you another picture better. You can see here, this is example of Pitradura on your screen. This is a Pitradura. You can see this is one of the designs on the Taj Mahal. So they have made, so it has been chipped off. The marble has been chipped off, and whatever shape they have removed the marble. They have filled it up with stones, precious stones, topaz, emerald, and they also used to use diamond during those days. But the jewel thieves have taken it away from the Taj. So precious stones have been used. Okay, this is called Pitradura. In local language, Parchinkari. Parchinkari. So the first Mughal building where we see where it is built entirely of marble and use of Pitradura is this Itmaduddaullah's tomb at Agra, built by Noor Jahan for her father. Right, and then of course we have then we have this is Jahangir's tomb, as you can see in Shahdara Bagh, Lahore, in the Dilkusha garden. So it is located in his garden, his pleasure garden. He used to spend a lot of time here in the Dilkusha garden. So this is called Shahdara Bagh now in Lahore, Pakistan, and this is the final resting place of Jahangir. This was built by his favorite queen, Noor Jahan. Built by Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan built it. Built by Noor Jahan. Okay. Then we come to the greatest builder of the Mughals, Shah Jahan. You can see Shah Jahan. So here he built a number of buildings, Moti Masjid inside the Agra Fort, the Lal Killa, Red Fort, the Taj Mahal, of course. All the features of Mughal architecture are found in the Taj Mahal. Running water, Pitradura, then of course Makrana marble. So all these have been used in the Taj, Charbagh style of gardens. So all this has been used, and of course he built the Jama Masjid also, one of the biggest mosque, one of the biggest mosques in India. So you can see this is the Moti Masjid in the Agra Fort, marble mosque inside the Agra Fort. This is the Jama Masjid at Delhi, which can house 30,000 people for namaz at a time in its courtyard. The huge mosque built by Shah Jahan. Then Musamman Burj inside the Agra Fort. So this is where Shah Jahan spent the last 8 years of his life before he died. In the background, you can see here the Taj Mahal. So he kept on looking at the Taj Mahal most of the time, remembering the good time he spent with his favorite queen, Mumtaz Mahal. And of course, the Red Fort, the Lal Killa at Delhi, built by Shah Jahan. So, Taj Mahal, all the features of Mughal architecture are found here in the Taj. You see, Taj, it was designed, those days architects were so brilliant, they understood that the Taj would be a very, very heavy structure. So what they did is, and it would be on the banks of the Yamuna River. So it was planned to be constructed on the banks of the Yamuna as Shah Jahan wanted it. So if they build it just like that with a basic foundation, then the weight of the structure can sink the structure. It can go down because there is a water body next to the Taj, the Yamuna River, and you have also under the ground you have those small channels of water. So the weight of the Taj could sink the earth, and it will damage the structure. That structure could also capsize. So taking that into consideration, it is said that they dug up a pit 20 stories deep where the Taj would be constructed. Exactly at that spot, they dug up a pit about 20 stories deep, and then huge boulders, rocks and boulders were brought from the Yamuna by boats, by land, by elephants, bullock carts, etc. And they filled up that pit with boulders and rocks. And then they gave it a firm base, a firm foundation this way. And then the construction began. Makrana marble from Rajasthan, pure Makrana marble was used. Then you can see those minarets on the four corners. They're slightly jutting out. You can see they're slightly jutting out here. What was the whole understanding? So that if there's a tremor, what they also took that into consideration. It is a seismic zone, earthquake prone area. So you have frequent tremors. Once in a while, you have tremors in North India, Delhi area. So if there's a tremor, the building should stand erect and stable, and the tower should not fall on the dome; it should fall outside. So taking that into consideration, they have slightly built it out like that, protruding out. It has 4 stories with Rajasthani Gujarati type of kiosks on top of it. Charbagh style of gardens are there. What is this Charbagh style of gardens? Gardens like this. No, just show you. Charbagh style of garden is like this. Like this. This is called Charbagh style of garden. Okay, so Charbagh style of garden. This is called Charbagh style of garden. Running water is there. You can see the running water. So running water, and this is also the example of a tomb garden. Makrana marble, Pitradura has been used. Pitradura, you can see this is called arabesque. So beautiful words from the Holy Quran have been embellished, and arabesque also. This is calligraphy has been used, and of course arabesque is what this. Now flowers like this, flowers and leaves with intersecting petals. So like this, right? Okay. So this is running like this, stem running like this. Then this in turn is going like that. So throughout the building, that's called arabesque. It employs flower, foliage, or fruit to produce an intricate pattern of interlaced lines. That's called arabesque. Pitradura is this, I've already told you, inlaid technique of using cut and fitted highly polished colored stones to create images. That's called Pitradura. So all this has been used in the Taj. So Shah Jahan was a great builder. He not only had the money, but also had the taste to make these buildings. People have money, but they don't have taste. He had both money as well as taste. So many of the buildings, inside the Agra fort were demolished by Shah Jahan because it was a lover of marble. Akbar had used sandstone, red sandstone, so that was demolished. So his buildings, Akbar's buildings, um, you know, are grand and original, whereas Shah Jahan's are lavish, in display of rich and skillful decorations. He has to spend a lot of money on that. So feminine beauty is its grace. So mosque building reaches climax. Moti Masjid, Jama Masjid, they both were designed by Ustad Khalil. Agra Fort Inside the Agra fort, we have the Moti Masjid, Musamman Burj. They were all built by Shah Jahan. Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas, Khas Mahal, Sheesh Mahal inside the Agra fort. Then Red Fort inside. So Red Fort, you have Shah Jahanabad. Shah Jahan built the seventh city of Delhi, Shah Jahanabad. Peak of Mughal architecture is under him, as we all know. So Shah Jahanabad was seventh city of which he founded. He transferred the capital from Delhi to Agra in 1638. So Shah Jahan transferred the capital from Agra to Delhi in 1638. Uh, and then Shah Jahanabad was completed in 1649. So Shah Jahanabad was completed in 1649. Then inside the Red Fort, we have, it has two beautiful gateways, two main gateways, Lahori Gate and Delhi Gate, Lahore Gate and Delhi Gate. And outside the Delhi Gate of the Red Fort, we have the statues of Jaimal and Patta. Famous buildings inside the Red Fort are these: Moti Mahal, Hira Mahal, Rang Mahal, Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas. So, as I told you, Shah Jahan was a person with great taste. Now, inside the Red Fort, we have the Rang Mahal. Rang Mahal was the emperor's private apartment. Rang Mahal was Shah Jahan's private apartment. So there's a palace inside, right? And Rang Mahal was the private apartment of Shah Jahan. And inside the Rang Mahal ran the Canal of Paradise called Nahari Bihisht. So we have his bedroom, private apartment bedroom. And through the bedroom, you have a natural canal flowing. That is called Nahari Bihisht, the Canal of Paradise. Canal of Paradise. Or Nahari Bihisht. Bihisht. Romantic fellow, Shah Jahan was great taste, with a great taste. And of course, inside the Red Fort, we also have the Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas. Diwan-e-Khas is the hall of private audience. And on the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas, he got a couplet of Amir Khusro inscribed. So Amir Khusro, who was given the title of Parrot of India by Alauddin Khalji, had visited Kashmir, and he praised the beauty of Kashmir in a Persian couplet. Agar firdaus barruhi zameenastu, ameenastu, ameenastu, ameenastu. That is, if there be a paradise on earth, it is this, it is this, it is nothing but this. So he was so much impressed with this couplet, Shah Jahan, which Amir Khusro had used to praise the beauty of Kashmir, that he got that couplet inscribed on one of the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas. So that's why I mentioned paradise on earth. Paradise on earth. Did you get me that? Agar firdaus barruhi zameenastu, ameenastu, ameenastu, ameenastu. That's what he says in Persian language. I may not be very exactly clear in pronouncing those, but then hammam is something like what do you call a steam, steam bath. Hammam is like a steam bath. Okay, so you have the emperor's Akbar's private bathing apartment called hammam. So that was not only a place where the emperor would take a bath. So and it is not a 10 by 10 bathroom which most of us have in our houses. This is a king's bathroom, king size. It may be equal to a big complex, big shopping complex of nowadays. The king's bathing apartment. And then there'll also be adjoining rooms there where you have spies. Nobody will be allowed there except the emperor. And if the emperor wanted to meet a spy, something very important he has to listen to, then he will call the spy there, and the spy will also give information. So something like a sauna. Yeah, something like a sauna. Yes. Diwan-e Khas Puja Diwane Khas is the hall of private audience inside the Red Fort. You have a palace inside the Red Fort. It is not only a fort, but also a palace is there inside. And in on the walls of the Diwane Khas, he got a couplet of Amir Khusro inscribed, where Amir Khusro praises the beauty of Kashmir. So he calls it as the paradise on earth. That's what I mentioned here, right? Then, of course, we have um, the Lal Killa Red Fort. Already told you. So Jama Masjid, which was built by Shah Jahan in Delhi, it costed him during those days 10 lakhs, rupees 10 lakhs. He spent 10 lakhs on those during those days to build this masjid, right? So this is supposed to be the largest mosque in India, largest Jama Masjid at Delhi, the largest mosque in India. So this is the largest mosque in India, right? Jama Masjid. It took costed him 10 lakhs, right? So here, Red Fort. And what was the cost? What was the cost of the Taj Mahal? How much money did Shah Jahan spend on the Taj? This is the exact total of the Taj Mahal, the amount of money spent, rupees 4 crore 11 lakhs 48,826 rupees. This is the amount of money spent on the Taj Mahal. 4 crore 11 lakhs 48,826 rupees. Nowadays it is priceless. Those days, 4 crore 11 lakh 48,826 rupees. So, Yasin, Red Fort, inside the Red Fort, there's a palace. It's a fortress city. So, inside, apart from the city of Shah Jahanabad, there's so on the periphery, we have the fort, and inside, you have a palace also. And in that palace, we have Dimane Am, Dihavane Kas. Cost is not important, Diana. I have just mentioned it. It is priceless. Taj Mahal is priceless. Okay. Now, difference between fort and fort, Dipesh, fort and a palace. Dipesh is asking me the difference between fort and palace. Palace is where the emperor or the king will live. Fort is where you have a fort. How to explain it? Where for defense purpose. The fort will give it is a huge, it has got a huge wall with ramparts, and then you have guns, etc., cannons being fixed there. So that's what is a fort, and people live inside the fort. Right. Then this is the cenotaph. You can see here below so underneath is the tomb of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan. This is Mumtaz's grave. You can see here, this is Mumtaz's grave, and this is Shah Jahan's, slightly bigger in size. So it is underground. That is called the cenotaph. So if you walk to the Taj, on the top you have a dummy tomb. That's not the real grave. Below, the real grave is below. Right. Then we come to Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, he did not spend money on buildings because he considered it as waste of money. He was a frugal-minded, economy-minded emperor, Aurangzeb. So what did he do? He, um, you know, um, he spent very less money. But then we see him building two mosques. One mosque which he built within the Red Fort for his personal prayers. This is made of marble. This is the Moti Masjid inside the Red Fort. You can see here, this is the Moti Masjid inside the Red Fort. This is for the personal prayers of Aurangzeb. And then in Lahore, he built the Badshahi Mosque. You can see here, very beautiful Badshahi Mosque he has built. This is built by Aurangzeb, Badshahi Mosque in Lahore. Then, of course, one of his sons built a tomb for his mother, Aurangzeb's son Azam Shah, Prince Azam Shah, built a tomb, Bibi Ka Maqbara at Aurangabad, which is called Poor Man's Taj. So his mother was Rabia ud Durrani, one of the two wives of Aurangzeb, Rabia ud Durrani. Her tomb is here in Aurangabad. This is called Bibi Ka Maqbara at Aurangabad in Maharashtra. So this is called Poor Man's Taj. Poor Man's Taj. Bibi Ka Maqbara. Locally available locally available materials are used. Yeah, fort is for military purpose, right? Height of Buland Darwaza, it's about 135 plus about 35 feet, almost about 35 feet, about 175 feet. It is built on a ridge. So if you take the height of the ridge also into consideration, it is about 170 feet, 170 to 175 feet. Just the Darwaza is about 135 feet. Okay, then Bahadur Shah Zafar on your screen, the last Mughal emperor, you see he was sent away to Rangoon in Burma, where he died, Rangoon or Myanmar in Burma, or Myanmar, those days called Burma, nowadays called Myanmar. So he built a tomb, he built a palace for his wife. He got it ordered. He ordered that this should be built. So the Zenat Mahal in Delhi is built in the memory of his wife, Zenat Mahal. The Bahadur Shah Zafar. This is the Zenat Mahal Haveli, built by Muhammad Azam Shah in Shah Jahanabad, Delhi. Zenat Mahal Haveli. Right. So then we come to Sikh style, Sikh architecture. Developed in the region of modern day Punjab, influenced by Mughal style of architecture. We have use of multiple chhatris or kiosks on the top of the construction. You can see here there are multiple chhatris. So these are the multiple chhatris. You can see these are all chhatris. Multiple chhatris. Shallow cornices. Cornices are chajja. You know what's a chajja? Chajja is, that protrusion on top of the window. Okay, so that the rain, sun doesn't come beating down. So if this is the window, let us say this is the window. So window is here, and this is the chajja. If this is the window, this is the chajja or the cornice. So they are shallow in shallow. Sheesh Mahal inside the just hold on. Sheesh Mahal is inside the this is in the Agra Fort. Stephen, this is inside the Agra Fort. This is called Turkish Bath, Sheesh Mahal. So most of the buildings inside the Agra Fort, I told you, were demolished by Shah Jahan. Whatever remains inside the Agra Fort are the Moti Masjid, the Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas. They're all built by Shah Jahan, and Sheesh Mahal or Turkish Bath. Probably Turkish Bath existed even earlier. It must have been built by Akbar. If I am correct, it must be built by Akbar, Sheesh Mahal or Turkish Bath. It's called Turkish Bath. Right? It is inside the Agra Fort. Let me come back here. So here we have Sikh architecture, use of multiple chhatris or kiosks. Like a kiosk is like an umbrella on top of the construction. Shallow cornices, chajja. Cornice is a chajja. They had fluted domes, brass and copper gilds have been covered. You can see this is covered in brass and copper. This is to add strength to the strength and support for the dome. For the dome rather. Then arches were decorated by the use of numerous foliations. Example, Harmandir Sahib. Yeah, there is a Jahangiri Mahal and an Akbari Mahal inside the Agra fort. It was built by Akbar. These two Mahals are called Jahangiri Mahal and Akbari Mahal inside the Agra fort. Rest of the buildings were demolished by Shah Jahan. Only two remain now, Jahangiri Mahal, Akbari Mahal, built by Akbar inside the Agra fort, Himani. So we'll come back here. 6. So here we have the Golden Temple. You can see here, this is the Golden Temple or the Har Mandir Sahib. Har Mandir Sahib, this is the holiest Gurudwara of the Sikhs, as you all know. The land where this Gurudwara was built, including the lake, the land was donated by Akbar. And it was Guru Ramdas who began the construction of the Har Mandir Sahib. It was completed by Guru Arjun Dev, the fifth Guru of the Sikhs. Now, the second Guru was Guru Angad. So Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism, as you know. Guru Angad, the second Guru, was having some skin ailment available, skin problem. And the herb which cured this skin ailment was found by the third Guru, Guru Amardas, on the banks of the Amrit Sarovar. This lake is called Amrit Sarovar. On the banks of this Amrit Sarovar or the lake, the herb which cured the skin ailment of the second Guru was found. And therefore, it was decided by Guru Arjun Dev that we will build build a temple here in the midst of the lake. So the construction began during the time of the fourth Guru Ramdas, and it was completed by Guru Arjun Dev. And true to the pluralistic tradition of Indian culture, we have Guru Arjun and Mia Mir. They laid the foundation stone of the temple in 1588. So Mia Mir was a Muslim saint, and Guru Arjun was the fifth Guru who wrote who compiled the Guru Granth Sahib, the holiest book of the Sikhs, Guru Granth Sahib. It was compiled by him, completed by him, and he was the one who also completed the Harmandir Sahib, and it was covered in gold. By whom? Who covered the Harmandir Sahib in gold? It was covered in gold by whom? Modern India question. There's a hint you have. Yeah, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Very good. Rajneesh, Dipinder. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the 18th century ruler of Punjab, called the Lion of Punjab, Napoleon of the East, Sarkar Khalsa Ji, known by various titles. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh was the one who covered this particular the Harmandir Sahib in gold. 400 kg of gold was used. 400 kg of gold was used to cover this particular temple in gold. And this is Gurudwara Bauli Sahib in the Govindwal district of Punjab. So, this is the Samadhi of Guru Angad Dev. Guru Angad, the second Guru of the Sikhs. Guru Angad Dev. It was founded by the third Guru, Guru Amardas. Then we have Gurudwara Patna Sahib. This is the place where Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru of the Sikhs, was born. So this was built by Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Maharaja Ranjit Singh built this, Gurudwara Patna Sahib in Bihar. And this is Gurudwara Hazur Sahib in Nanded, Maharashtra. So this is the spot where the 10th Guru was beheaded by an Afghan. And this is the place where they have built a Gurudwara for the 10th Guru, Gurudwara Hazur Sahib in Nanded, Maharashtra. Guru Gobind Singh lost his life here. He was beheaded while he was meditating. Okay, so this is about 6, right? Then we come to Kashi Vishwanath Temple. What is it, Rajneesh? Kashi Vishwanath Temple also. Can you elaborate, Rajneesh? No, it was built by Azam Shah Zeba on the orders of Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah was in Burma, in Myanmar. So it was built by Azam Shah on the orders of Bahadur Shah for his wife, Zinat Mahal. Okay, then Rajputs built a number of palaces and forts. They introduced the concept of hanging balcony. Okay, hanging balcony. Then cornices were built in the shape of an arch. That is Chajja. Chajja is built in the shape of an arch. Okay, so that the shadow took the shape of a bow. It looked like that. So the Chajja is like this. So when the shadow falls on the ground, it looks like that of a bow. Bow and arrow, bow, right? Like that. Then we come to modern architecture. So modern architecture, we have Europeans coming to India, isn't it? For trading purpose, Portuguese came, Dutch came, Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danes, and the French in that order. Portuguese, Dutch, British, Danes, and the French. In that order, they came to India. So initially, what did they do? They built trading stations or factories. Understand this? They came to trade, and these Europeans built trading stations or factories. So what is a trading station? trading station or a factory. So initially they built factories or trading station. So a trading station or a factory will look something like this. So they had a huge compound. They built a huge compound, okay, tall compound they built. So that because Europeans, they remained perpetually Europeans, they never mingled with the local people. So here in one part of their factory or a trading station, they'll have their residential houses. They'll have their houses, okay, where they stay. They'll have their offices, go downs. They'll have go downs, okay, and they will live here. Okay, this is called a trading station or a factory. Later, they began to fortify it. They began to build a fort around it so that they can feel more secure. Okay, for example, the first fort built by the British is Fort St. George in Chennai. Fort St. George in Chennai is the first fort built by the British. So, because once they got began to interfere in internal affairs of the Indian rulers, they began to fight. They began to convert this into a fort, strong fort, so that they can defend themselves better. Okay, and they also arm those forts with artillery, etc. So these Europeans who came initially built trading stations or factories. Then they began to build forts, and then they introduced also local architecture, whatever architecture they were used to, familiar with in their countries. So, for example, we have the Portuguese. Now, Portuguese made Goa their headquarters. As you all know, they made Goa their headquarters. And in Goa, we have Portuguese introducing certain architectural styles, which was very familiar to them in Portugal. That is the Iberian style. Their architecture is called Iberian style. So, and they introduced Baroque churches and patio houses. Patio is an outhouse. Patio is an outhouse. You can have an outhouse in front of, in case you have a big site and you have some space, then just outside your house, you can have a patio, or on top of your house, on your terrace, you can have a patio. Something like an outhouse. You can see I put a picture here. This is the picture of a patio or an outhouse. This is the patio. This is the patio, right? How main house is inside, as you can see. So something like a sit out, with a canopy on top. And you can have a patio like this on top of your building also. So they introduced patio houses, Baroque churches, and their style of architecture is called Iberian style of architecture. So you can see here on your screen, this is the example of a Baroque church in Goa, Saint Cathedral in Goa. And inside the church, you can see how beautiful it is inside the church. This is a Baroque church, a picture of a Baroque church. So they built trading stations, trading posts, warehouses, right? And later, patio houses and Baroque churches. Example, Saint Cathedral and Castella da Aguada in Mumbai. This is Castella da Aguada in Mumbai, the last bastion as it is called. So, so this is built by the Portuguese. Then we come to French. French introduced modern urban city planning. So their architecture is called anonymous architecture, anonymous style. The next examples are Puducherry, the French town of Pondicherry or Puducherry, and Chandan Nagore. They were built using Cartesian grid plans and scientific architectural designs. So the way modern cities are built, planned and built. So that is called Cartesian grid plan and architectural designs. Their architecture is called anonymous architecture. Examples: Church of Saint Sacred Heart of Jesus in Puducherry. So this is the Basilica of Sacred Heart of Jesus, Pondicherry. So look at the style of the church here. So you have French windows, French doors. They look very beautiful. Some of you may be having it in your houses, French window and French doors. They were all introduced by the French. So you can see this large windows and doors. Okay, I have put some more pictures here. These are French doors and windows. French door windows. Okay, French door is here, right? So this is French architecture, anonymous architecture. Then we have the British coming. British introduced Gothic style. And once the Gothic style merged with the Indian style, it came to be called Indo-Gothic style or Victorian style, Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. And post 1911, they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. So we have Neo-Roman architecture, which emerged in Delhi, Neo-Roman architecture. So Gothic style introduced. When it merged with the Indian style, it came to be called Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So what are the Victorian buildings you can see here? Victorian style, St. Paul's Cathedral in Calcutta. St. Paul's Cathedral in Calcutta. So large windows, pointed arches, then poured concrete they used with steel, whatever was the modern method of building buildings, poured concrete, ready-made concrete, where you have a machine and you have the cement and the sand and the water going in. So you have poured concrete used by the British. That is called all a part of Victorian style. So Indo-Gothic or Victorian style, what are the features? Let us look at it. Features. Constructions were extremely large and elaborate. Walls were thinner. Arches were pointed. You can see here, arches are pointed. So pointed arches like this. Pointed arches. Okay. So pointed arches. Walls were thinner. Large windows they've used. You can see large windows have been used. Then crucified ground plan. That is, it's square. And the crucified ground plan is, it is like a square. Adhere to advanced structural engineering standards like steel, iron, poured concrete began to be used. This is Indo-Gothic style or Victorian style. Are you there with me, all of you? Hello, Indo-Gothic style or Victorian style? Clear? Okay. So this is another picture. You can see Victoria Memorial Hall in Calcutta, Victoria Memorial Hall. Then this is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, earlier called VT, Victorian Terminus, now called Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus in Mumbai. These are all Indo-Gothic style or Victorian style of buildings. Pointed arches, large windows, smaller walls, crucified ground plan, poured concrete, steel, etc. being used. So difference between Iberian and Gothic, I told you. Iberian is Portugal and Gothic is British. So brick was the main material used by the Portuguese. Wood was used for roofs and stairs. Brick was the main material used by the Portuguese. Wood was used for roofs and stairs, whereas red sandstone was used by the British along with coarse limestone. Portuguese continued with their Western traditions. They did not make any changes. Whatever was there in Portugal, they simply introduced that in India. So they did not introduce any structural variations. Whereas the British adopted Indian motifs, Indian styles. They adopted, giving rise to Indo-Gothic style of architecture. So it was a mixture of Gothic or British and Indian, Indo-Gothic. So these are the architects of New Delhi on your screen. Sir Edwin Lutyens. So Edwin Lutyens is here, and Sir Herbert Baker. So these are the architects of New Delhi, and Delhi is called the Rome of Hindustan. And what style was introduced in Delhi post 1911? It came to be called Neo-Roman style or Neoclassical style. So what are the features of Neo-Roman style or Neoclassical style? Constructions were anonymous without any interesting features. So a lot of styles have been cramped, have been used. So a lot of styles have got merged here in Delhi post 1911, designed by Herbert Baker and Edwin Lutyens. So constructions were anonymous. Confluence of all styles. Therefore, you have congestion and cramping of space. The space is cramped and congested. Simplicity, modernity, utility were highly compromised. Okay, focus on circular buildings. So buildings are circular, like Connaught Place is circular buildings. Overuse Oriental motifs, that is Eastern motifs like lotus, etc. Okay, concept of upturned dome was introduced. For example, we have the Supreme Court and the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Rashtrapati Bhavan was modeled on the Sanchi Stupa all the way down to the balustrade railings. You can see here, this looks like the Sanchi Stupa. The dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan is designed like the Sanchi Stupa. You see that, and this railing also, you can see that this is the Mehdi level, like the Mehdi level. So this looks like the Sanchi Stupa. It has been designed like that. This has been called upturned dome. Indian is Indian style. Indian is Indo-Islamic styles. Indian style is Indo-Islamic styles. Yeah, tra. So it's a mixture of that. Gothic Indian means it is more of Indo-Islamic. So then we have this. This was in the news sometime back. Amrit Udyan, the Mughal gardens inside Rashtrapati Bhavan. It had been named Mughal Gardens. By who designed the Mughal Gardens inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan? Now it's called Amrit Udyan. The government at the center has renamed it as Amrit Udyan, but earlier called Mughal Garden. It was Edwin Lutyens, the same person who designed New Delhi, was the one who designed the Mughal Gardens. inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan or Amrit Udyan. So designed by Edwin Lutyens. It is 15 acres in size, this garden. Both Mughal and English landscaping styles have been used. So basically, why was it called Mughal Gardens? Because he has used Charbagh style. It is even now in the Charbagh style. So like the Mughals had adopted the Charbagh style. So the Charbagh style of garden is there. Running water is there, right? And then we have 6 lotus-shaped fountains rising to a height of 12 feet. Garden houses nearly 2,500 dahlias, 120 varieties of roses. So here, according to architect K.T. Ravindran, uh, renaming this particular garden as Amrut Udyan is wrong. It should have been renamed Mughal style, Mughal Gardens. The old name is appropriate according to him because Edwin had deliberately used Mughal architectural details as part of the British appeasement plan. Now, you know, the British shifted the capital in 1911 from Calcutta to Delhi. What is the reason why they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi? Hello, modern India students, modern India, who have done modern India. Calcutta to Delhi, the capital was shifted. You know the background. Most of you know the background. Almost all of you, I'm sure, know the background. Why? What was the reason why the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi? What are the reasons? Administrative purposes. Stephen says administrative purposes. Rich prosperity. Pooja, what do you mean by rich prosperity? Calcutta became center of nationalism. Okay, very good. Central geography. Anything else? Anything else apart from these points, Yugan? Peasant protests. Udayarani says. Trade route. See, Oriental view. No, no, look here, look here. See, the main reason is Calcutta was the center of anti-British activities. Delhi was politically peaceful that way. So they shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi. That was the main reason because politically Delhi was peaceful and Calcutta was the hub of anti-British activities. All the opposition to British rule in India was from Calcutta. And Delhi was politically peaceful. You all know that. Second reason, the main reason is, second reason also as to why the British shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi was to appease the Muslims, was to please the Muslims. Because when the partition of Bengal was announced, okay, by what's his name, Curzon, he said that in East Bengal and Assam, Muslims will be the majority, right? And in West Bengal and other parts will be separate. And East Bengal and Assam, Muslims will be the majority, and the Hindus could not ride roughshod over the Muslims. So they will be the majority in East Bengal and Assam. And here later the partition was cancelled. The partition of Bengal was cancelled. The Muslims were very angry with the British. And it had been the long-standing demand of the Muslims to make Delhi the capital. The British had made Calcutta their capital. Delhi had been the capital from the Delhi Sultans onwards, 1206 onwards. Even before that, under the Tomaras, it was the capital. And then Delhi Sultans had Delhi as the capital. Mughals had Delhi as the capital. And of course, sometimes it was Agra, but mostly it was Delhi. So this had been the long-standing demand of the Muslims. And therefore, to appease the Muslims, to please the Muslims, another reason why they shifted the capital to Delhi was that, right? Now, Edwin Lutyens, the last sentence explains that. Edwin Lutyens purposely designed the garden around the Viceregal Lodge. The Rashtrapati Bhavan was the private residence of the Viceroy of India. So it was designed purposely on the lines of the Charbagh style of the Mughals. So therefore, he aptly named it as Mughal Gardens. Okay, so therefore, this architect called K.T. Ravindran says renaming it as any other name would not be appropriate because the design is like the Mughal Charbagh style of gardens. So it was deliberately used. He deliberately used Mughal architectural details as part of British appeasement plan. They were trying to please the Muslims. Did you understand? That was the main reason why. That was the second reason why the British shifted the capital to Delhi. Okay, so this is about architecture. No, you can see here. These are the buildings in the Neo-Roman style, Neoclassical style. This is the South Block, houses Ministries of Defense, External Affairs, besides the Prime Minister's office. So some of you may be working here in the South Block one day. I hope and pray, that happens. Here also Central Secretariat of India, North Block, Central Secretariat of India. This is North Block. Then La Corbusier, you see, he was the one who designed the city of Chandigarh. So here, after 1947, there were two schools of architecture. One was revivalist, and the other was modernist. Revivalist and modernist architecture. Revivalist is what they want to revive the Indian architectural methods or features. Modernist is adopting Western standards of architecture. So, however, both the schools could not break away from the colonial hangover. So, you have Pandit Nehru calling La Corbusier to design the city of Chandigarh. So, he was the one who designed, he was a French architect, La Corbusier. La Corbusier was a French architect who designed the city of Chandigarh into sectors. You can see here sector 1, sector 2, etc. So supposedly beautifully designed Chandigarh. Then Laurie Baker. Laurie Baker is called the architect of the poor. He revolutionized mass housing concept in Kerala. So he used locally available material to design buildings, environment-friendly buildings, locally available material, concept of pillar slab construction, reduce the consumption of steel and cement. All those were used. Emphasis on ventilation and thermal comfort, so that it becomes cool. Locally bamboo, locally available stones, etc. They've been used. Thatched roofs. All this has been used by Laurie Baker. That's why it's called architect of the poor. So this is one of the this is one of the buildings designed by Laurie Baker, a house designed by Laurie Baker. You can see this is locally available stone of Kerala. Even the walls have been built like that. Bamboo has been used, and tiles have been used for because of the heavy rainfall in that area. Then recently there was an famous architect who died a few months back, B.B. Doshi, and in the newspaper some articles came about various architects in India. So I have given a list of these architects and the buildings they have designed, famous buildings they have designed. For example, buildings of B.V. Doshi, LIC housing building in Ahmedabad, then School of Architecture, CEPT University, I believe, Indian Institute of Management, IIM Bangalore. So you have seen that Three Idiots movie, Three Idiots. That Three Idiots movie, whatever campus they show, okay, that is the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. That was designed by B.V. Doshi, right? Then Ahmedabad Ki Ni Gufa in collaboration with artist M.F. Hussain. So all these buildings were designed by B.B. Doshi. Then, in India's greatest architect is supposedly Charles Correa. Charles Correa is supposed to be, as of now, he died a few years back. Charles Correa. So he is the person who has designed the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad. He was the one who designed. Then the New Bombay, Vashi and other places, they were all designed by him. Incremental house planning of New Bombay. Then Kanchenjunga Apartments in Mumbai, National Crafts Museum, etc. I have given you all that list. Go through it. Then buildings of Achyut P. Kanvinde, another architect of India. ISKCON Temple, Delhi. Then University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore. The Mother Dairy booth seen all over India. The Mother Dairy booth looked the same all over India. So that was designed by Achyut P. Kanvinde. Right? This is about architecture, art and architecture of India. 5,000 years of architecture. Then recently this was in the news for Foucault pendulum. Not necessary, Yasin. I just put it because, this B.B. Doshi architect was in the news and these architects had been mentioned in the newspaper. So I thought, okay, let me see what are the buildings these people have built, and I have put a list important buildings built by these architects, just in case the UPSC asks. We don't know what type of questions UPSC asks. So on the presumption that they might ask important buildings built by B.V. Doshi or Charles Correa, I have put those buildings. There may be other buildings, but these are the most important ones. The Foucault pendulum. So this is a pendulum which has been installed in the new Parliament building by the National Council of Science Museum. It is 22 meters in height and weighs a staggering 36 kg, I believe. So it integrates the idea of India with the idea of the cosmos. So this is the Foucault pendulum. Okay, this is the pendulum. Okay, so let us look at the questions now from this topic. Building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of. Answer these questions, please. So look at the idea. Look Vijayanagara. Okay. So Vijayanagara is the answer. Okay. Then what is or are common to the two historical yeah, so for marriage of gods, that is true. What is or are common to the two historical places known as Ajanta and Mahabalipuram, 2016? Both were built in the same period. Answer this question. Both were built in the same period, Ajanta and Mahabalipuram. No, you answer the question. Ajanta belongs to which period? Ajanta. Ajanta, when was Ajanta built? During Gupta period. Okay, so we have Ajanta as early as 2nd century BC to 7th century AD. So it was almost spanning 900 years. Mahabalipuram. Mahabalipuram founded by whom? Who built Mahabalipuram? Mahabalipuram. Who founded Mahabalipuram? Mahamalla. Who is Mahamalla? Narasimhavarman the first. Deepesh. Very good. N1. Narasimhavarman the first. Very good. So Pallavas belong to which period? Pallavas 600 to 900 AD. These are the great Pallavas, isn't it? So both were built in the same period is wrong. Both were not built in the same period. Both belong to the same religious denomination. Ajanta is what? Ajanta deals with what? Which religion? Ajanta. Buddhism. Very good, Sham. Buddhism. Entirely the theme is Buddhism in Ajanta. Mahabalipuram, the theme is what? Hinduism. Hinduism, both Vishnu and Shiva, Mahabalipuram. So therefore, both do not belong to the same religious denomination. So second statement is wrong. Both have rock cut monuments. It is correct. Ajanta, we have rock cut monuments. Caves are there. Viharas are there. Chaityas are there. Whereas Mahabalipuram, we have mandapas. Okay, and rathas are there. Okay, even structural temples are there. So therefore, both have rock cut monuments are correct. So the answer is only 3. Then, with reference to art or archaeological history of India, which one among the following was made earliest? Which one among the was made earliest? First one, you look at it. Lingaraja temple at Bhubaneswar. Which year? Which century was Lingaraja built? Lingaraja temple at Bhubaneswar, 11th century. Very good. Who's that? Deepesh. Very good. 11th century. Then rock cut elephant at Dhauli. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli. Deepesh. Second B. Dhauli. Very good, Deepesh. Maurya period. Popular art. You look at the popular art. Court art, popular art. I have shown you. Rocket elephant at Dhauli. So the picture is also there in the PPT. So this refers to Ashoka propagating Dhamma, the elephant. So this is Mauryan period. Rocket monuments at Mahabalipuram. You know this. 6th century to 9th century AD. Varaha image at Udayagiri. This belongs to the Gupta period, 5th century AD. Gupta period. So here, which is the earliest they're asking? Obviously, the second is the answer. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli is the earliest. Next, with reference to the Indian history of art and culture, consider the following pairs. 2014 question. Famous work of sculpture and site. A grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana with numerous celestial musicians above and the sorrowful figures of his followers below. Ajanta. This is correct. You see, I put a picture also. Cave number 26, Ajanta caves. So Buddha is sleeping. He died in that position, isn't it? Sleeping between two sal trees. People down on the earth are crying. And people in the heaven are rejoicing that Buddha is going to join them. So this has been depicted in a sculpture at Ajanta. And one of the reasons why I have put sculptures in my PPTs in many places is for you to understand, anticipating a question. Okay, from the sculpture part. So here the first statement is correct. A huge image of Varaha avatar of Vishnu Moreover, incarnation has a rescues goddess Earth from the deep and chaotic water sculpted on rock. Mount Tabu. This is not correct. This is at Udayagiri. Udayagiri in Madhya Pradesh. Udayagiri, not Khandagiri, Udayagiri. Dipesh, it is not Udayagiri and Khandagiri of Orissa. This is Udayagiri of UP. Okay, Udayagiri. Then Arjuna's parents' descent of the Ganga, sculpted on the surface of huge boulders. Mahabalipuram. This is right. So, which of the space are correctly matched? 1 and 3. That is 1 and 3. C is the answer. 1 and 3 is the right answer. Okay. Now, with reference to the cultural history of India, the term Panchayatana refers to what? This is a UPSC question. The year is missing. So, Panchayatana, you know, a style of temple construction. A style of temple construction. Very easy question. Then, with reference to Buddhist history, tradition, and culture in India, consider the following pairs. 2014 question. Which of the pairs is given above is correctly matched or correctly matched? Famous shrine and location. Tabo Monastery and Temple Complex. Spiti Valley, it is correct. Lotsava Lakang, Zanskar Valley. No, that is not correct. This is in the Kinnor Valley of Himachal Pradesh. Lotsava Lakang. Alchigompa, Ladakh. This is correct. 1 and 3 is the answer. So I have given you the list of all the monasteries in the PPTs, isn't it? When we did viharas and chaityas, I've given you the list of chaityas, list of viharas. Please go through it. It is there in that. Fourth question, only one is correct. By Sham, the third choice is also correct. No, Arjuna's parents are descendants of the Ganga, sculpted on the surface of huge boulders. Mahamalapuram, that is correct. And first is also correct. Second is wrong. So the answer is only 1 and 3 are correct. Udayagiri, Khandagiri are in Orissa, in the Eastern Ghats, Dipesh. The Udayagiri, Khandagiri are in Eastern Ghats. They are there. We have Jain Viharas. Udayagiri is in Madhya Pradesh. Sorry, Uttar Pradesh, Udayagiri, where we have the Varaha image of Vishnu. So there are these are separate Udayagiris. Okay, Sham, did you get me? So your fourth question I have answered. It is 1 and 3. Mamalapuram is Mahabalipuram. Mamalapuram is another name for Mahabalipuram. Old name is Mamalapuram. So that is correct. Arjuna's parents is found there. Okay, we move on. Then, Nagara, Dravida, Vesara are what? This is again UPSC question. You won't believe it, but this is an UPSC question. If such questions come, then you are very lucky. There'll be some very easy questions. Definitely, there'll be some very easy questions. Some will be very, very tough. Nobody can answer, and most of them are difficult questions. Medium difficult. Then, with reference to the history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements. Answer this without looking at the answer. The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. The Bara, I don't want your answer, Kashish. You answer the first statement. The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. Yes or no? Kashish, yes or no? Sham says yes. Maruti says no. If you say no, you should say why no. Zeba says no. Bara. Very good, Zeba. Canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. No, it is Bara caves. 4 caves were dug up by Ashoka in the Bara hills and donated to the Ajivika monks. So that is the right answer. Bara rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. Second statement, yes or no? Ashoka is the right answer. Dipesh is right. Zeba is right. Very good. Stephen is also right. And even Divyani is right. So this is not Chandragupta Maurya. It was made by Emperor Ashoka. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. Yes or no? At Ellora, all the 3 religions are represented. Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. So therefore, only 3 is the correct answer. Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, all the 3 statements are, all the 3 religions, it is dedicated. Ellora. Now look here, 2013 question. This is another easy question. Some Buddhist rock cut caves are called chaityas, while the others are called viharas. What is the difference between the two? Chaitya is a place of worship, while vihara is a dwelling place for monks. So C, B is the answer. With reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. 2018 question. White marble was used in making Buland Darwaza and Kanka at Fatehpur Sikri. Wrong. Buland Darwaza and Buland Darwaza, we know it is made of red sandstone. So it cannot be made of white marble. We have seen the picture, right? Therefore, first statement is wrong. Red sandstone and marble were used in making Bara Imambara and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. This is wrong. So it was they have used they have used bricks to make bricks have been used, not red sandstone and marble. So Bara Imambara and Rumi Darwaza was made by Asaf ud Dawla. Asaf ud Dawla, Nawab of Awadh. Nawab of Awadh. You can write Awadh like this also. Awadh in 1784. It's made of bricks, not red sandstone and marble. It's a gateway, Rumi gateway. Rumi Darwaza is a room, is a gateway, Deepesh. Just Google, you'll find out. You'll just Google, you'll get it with the picture. Bara Imambara and Rumi Darwaza, both built by Asafuddaula, the Nawab of Awadh in Lucknow in 1784. Then, which of the following is our famous sun temples? So I've given you the list of sun temples when I did, the sun temple at Modhera, the Solanki style of school. I've done that. So Arsavali, Amarkantak, Omkareshwar. Only Arsavali. Arsavali is in Andhra Pradesh. It is in Andhra. So this is the sun temple we have. Only one is correct. With reference to Chausat Yogini temple situated near Morena, consider the following statements. 2021, Chausat Yogini temple. It's a circular temple built in the reign of Kachakapada dynasty. It is correct. So I have given you the picture. You remember? I have given you the picture of this temple. This is Shiva temple basically. The main idol is Shiva in the middle. Then there are 64 yoginis. That's why called Chausat Yogini. 64 goddesses. But basically this is a Shiva temple, right? So it's a circular temple built during the reign of Kachakapada dynasty. Correct? It's only circular temple built in India. Wrong. So whenever there's a word only, be very careful. It is the only circular temple built in India. Only, whenever there's only, it is wrong. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult in the region. No, the Shakta cult, the Shakti cult. So this is wrong. Its design has given rise to a popular belief that it was inspiration behind the Indian Parliament building. Yes, this is correct. So the answer is, they're asking how many statements are correct. So 1 and 4 are correct. Shiva temple with yoginis, right? Then 2021 question. Consider the following pairs. Historical place and well known for. Burzahom, rock cut shrines. So you remember, we have done Stone Age. For the first chapter in ancient India, Stone Age. So this is from that chapter, the Stone Age chapter. Burzahom in Kashmir, we have pit dwellings. Okay, man used to dig up a pit and used to live under the pit, inside the pit, under the ground to cover, to protect himself from the cold blizzards. There are no rock cut shrines in Burzahom, that too in the Neolithic period. So therefore, this is wrong. Chandraketugad terracotta art. This is correct. You see, Chandraketugad is in West Bengal. And in 2020, this was in the news. Chandraketugad was in the news because a huge hoard of terracotta artifacts were found at Bengal, at a place called Chandraketugad. So that statement is correct. Ganeshwar, we have copper artifacts. This is correct. This is the OCP culture, ochre colored pottery culture, one of the Chalcolithic cultures, ochre colored pottery culture. We have done this as part of Stone Age. So therefore, how many pairs are correctly matched? 2 and 3 are correct. 2 and 3 are correctly matched. Yeah. Burial of man and a dog. Deepesh. Very good. Burzahom. Then 2021 question. Which one of the following statements are correct? They're asking. Ajanta Caves lies in the gorge of the Bagora River. So once you have found this answer, you don't need to look at other answers in the examination because you've already found the answer. So the rest of the statements automatically would be wrong. But then let us discuss the other statements. Ajanta caves lies in the gorge of the Vagora River. That is correct. Vagora Hills, Vagora River. Sanchi Stupa lies in the gorge of the Chambal River. So Sanchi Stupa is near Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. It is not in the gorge of the Chambal River. And generally, stupas are found in plain areas. They are not found in gorges, right? The stupas generally are found in plain areas. Pandulena cave shrines lies in the gorge of the Narmada River. No, it is in the Gomal River. I have given you the answer here. You can see Gomal River. So this is also wrong. Amaravati Stupa lies in the gorge of the Godavari River. This is wrong. Krishna River near Vijayawada and Guntur. So the answer is only A. A is the answer. Then consider the following pairs. I have put some questions here. You can see temple and state. Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka. Correct. Trayambakeshwar, Madhya Pradesh. Trayambakeshwar is in Maharashtra. Brihadeshwara, Tamil Nadu. That is right. Lingaraja temple, Bhuvaneshwar, not Andhra. So how many pairs are correctly matched? Two are correctly matched. Only two pairs. So the answer is here. Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka. Trayambakeshwar, Maharashtra. Brihadeshwara, Tamil Nadu. Lingaraja, Orissa. With reference to the Archaeological Survey of India, consider the following statements. The prime concern of the ASI is maintenance of ancient monuments and archaeological sites and remains of national importance. That is right. It does not regulate the Antiquities and Art Treasures Act 1972. It does regulate. Alexander Cunningham was appointed as the first Director General of the ASI. That is also right. So how many statements are correct? Two are correct. So the answer is here. The explanation is here in the next page. Go through it. So ASI is the premier organization which deals with archaeological research, preservation of nation's cultural heritage. It is part of the Ministry of Culture, the Archaeological Survey of India. So the answer is here. Please go through it. Explanation. Then consider the following pairs. Temple and location. Lakshmana Temple, Himachal Pradesh. Lakshmana Temple where? Khajuraho. So therefore the first statement is wrong. Dashavatara Temple, Madhya Pradesh. Dashavatara Temple is in UP, not in Madhya Pradesh. Kamakya Temple, West Bengal, Assam. Kamakya is in Assam. Terracotta, UP, no, West Bengal. You remember? I have put pictures. I have told you also. After we discussed Nagara style of architecture, I have put a series of pictures. In that, we come to Bishnupur in West Bengal, and it is famous for terracotta temples. I had made a specific reference to that. Because in the textbooks it is not there, even in your Nitin Singhani it is not there, but then in the pictures which I have put, it is there. So I have collected it from magazines and online, etc. From there I have collected those pictures and put, because it is relevant from the exam point of view. You can see here there was a question asked. So how many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? None of them are correctly matched. And what is the right answer I have given you? Lakshmana Temple, Khajuraho. Dashavatara Temple, Deogarh in UP. Kamakya Temple in Guwahati, Assam. Terracotta Temple, West Bengal. Right? Then, with reference to the Sri Ranganatha Swami Temple, consider the following statements. The temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Correct. Ranganatha is a form of reclining Vishnu, sleeping Vishnu. The temple was constructed in the Nagara style of architecture. Definitely not. It is in the Dravida style. The temple has a unique Sapta Prakaram formation. Sapta Prakaram is 7 concentric circles. So that is right. So how many statements are correct? There are 1 and 2 are correct. Only 2 are correct. Okay, so B is the correct answer. So the explanation is given here. Please go through it. So this is about art and architecture, right? This is about art and architecture. Any doubts? Any questions? So I will let you know. See, because tomorrow I'll not be able to finish the syllabus. Obviously, we have lost 2 days. One was Shivaratri. Friday was Shivaratri. We lost that day. Then we lost Holi. Yesterday was Holi. We lost that day. Right. So therefore, I need 2 extra days plus some maybe one extra day, one extra class. 1 or 2 extra classes. I'll request the management. Whether tomorrow is the last day, we will let you know, and then I'll require extra classes to finish the rest of the syllabus. Okay. So that will be notified to you, but tomorrow morning I'll announce it in the class. Deepesh, did you get me? So don't worry. Okay, fine. So don't worry about it. Point is, we have lost 2 days, one for Shivaratri, one for Holi. So 2 days, 6 hours we lost. Right, 6 hours. Uh, no, six and a half. More than 6 hours, 6.5 hours. We have lost 6 hours. No, 3.5, 3.5, 7 hours we have lost. So what about combined study? Roshan will see because we have weekend batches going on, Roshan. So Sunday also, we will fix a time. Don't worry, and it should be convenient to all the students, including to me, because I'm handling the weekend batch also. So it will be difficult. Once I finish the weekend batch, we can squeeze in, or someday if it's a general holiday for all of you, okay, some national holiday, then we can have a class on that day and finish up the syllabus. How to do combined study? Yasin is also combined study. See, it all depends upon the student, your partner, one or two partners. They should also be equally focused like you people. Number one. Number two is none of you should be selfish. Let that person give information, then I'll share information. So if that happens, what happens is it will cancel out. Instead of studying, you will be fighting. So therefore, see that whatever you share, whatever you have, you share it with each other. That person should also be fair and focused, and you should pull up each other. Like for example, most of the Biharis do very well in UPSC for this reason. For example, newspapers. One person will be reading one sheet, another person will be reading another sheet of newspaper. They'll mark, they'll highlight, they'll write, make notes, and they'll share the notes. They'll share the papers, and they'll study combinedly. So that's why they do very well in the UPSC exam. And if one person clears and gets into service, that person will pull the other person up. He'll help him to come and join the service. So he'll give vital information, etc. Key tips he'll give, he or she. So that's why they do very well in the exam. So you should be able to pull each other up. Okay. So combined study is good provided the team is good. Otherwise, you'll be harming each other. So that's how it is. So you go to library if you cannot focus alone at home or wherever you're studying, go to a neighborhood library where already there's an atmosphere available instead of sitting in the house and trying to motivate yourself. Exam is coming nearby. So best thing is to go to a library where there is already an atmosphere. You can spend the whole day there, take some food along with you, enough water, coffee, tea, etc., and sit there and study the whole day. So then come back and study in the house, take some rest and again study in the house if you can, or you get up in the early morning and study. You find a way, right? If you cannot study at home. But don't sit in front of TV. A lot of relatives are there, a lot of noise around your house, difficult to motivate. And keep in touch with your friends, whoever are preparing for the examination, keep in touch with them. Don't isolate yourself at this point in time. And the exam is about 2 3 days away. That time you can isolate. Last 1 week you can isolate. Not at this point in time. And learn to share information. You'll make less mistakes. Okay, I think I have run out of time today. I would have wanted to start with Indian dance. Tomorrow we will do Indian dance. I'll finish Indian dance. I will do Indian literature and Indian philosophy. These three topics I'll finish tomorrow. And if possible, we will do more. So don't worry about it. Small, chota topics are there. We have another big topic that is Indian painting. I'll deal with that in another class. Tomorrow we'll do Indian dance, Indian literature, Indian philosophy. And if time permits, I'll start with Sufi Bhakti movement like that. So you have a great day. If you have anything, just write or mail me. Okay. So, so the point is, Udayarani, you need to have some very good support system, right? There are a lot of students who have a lot of liabilities. Also, many of them are married. They have children, and women do very well. I don't know how they do it. They are very good at multitasking. With one or two kids, they're able to crack the exam. And so they have to manage the kid or kids. They have to manage the husband, maybe the in-laws, cook, and then still study and get through. And they have done it. For example, um, this girl from Tamil Nadu, she got into IPS. I forget her name. Um, mm, she was a 8th standard Tamil medium student. She was married at the age of 14 years, I think 12 or 14 years. And by the time she became 18, she had two children. and her husband was a police constable in the Tamil Nadu Police Department, and she was 8th standard pass, Tamil medium girl, right? And she went on to crack the UPSC. She got into IPS, and she's got Maharashtra cadre. I forget her name, Ambika. Her story is there on YouTube. Ambika, a very inspiring story. A mother of 2 children. She doesn't know English. She doesn't have any knowledge of computers. And then she sees her husband participating in a march past where some IPS officer, DGP of Tamil Nadu, was taking the salute, and she had gone to the police station in search of her husband because that day the husband did not come home for lunch. The police station was very near to her husband, so she was from, I think, Dindigal or Kumbakonam district of Tamil Nadu. So with 2 children in her arms, she goes to the police station, and she sees this march past where her husband was taking a. He was also participating, and after the march past, he comes and she asks him, who was that person? Who were those people standing on the dais? And he tells her that those are IPS officers. He is the DGP of Tamil Nadu who was taking the salute. And she says, I want to become like him. And then the rest is history. And she did become like him. She's an IPS officer posted in Maharashtra Kedar. And she was recently the deputy commissioner of one of the zones in Maharashtra. She's called Singham of Bombay. Ambika, a very inspiring story. She's on YouTube. Go through, go. So take inspiration from such stories, real and live stories. Okay, so we'll meet tomorrow. You have a great day, and we'll do the rest of the topics tomorrow. Thank you. If anything is there, mail me. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.